What's going on, everybody? It's time to continue the Elbaf greatness with One Piece Chapter 1188. Obviously, last chapter ended with kind of a bang with the Sanji moment, so I'm super excited to see where that goes next. I'm not sure if we'll really get that answer this chapter, but regardless, I'm pumped. I did see the chapter title a second ago. I've not been spoiled at all, but I did see the chapter title, and I got a lot of theories based on that, but we'll save it. I feel like it's going to be some Emu and Luffy stuff, which is amazing. So very much looking forward to it for sure. But welcome everybody, welcome. I see we got a couple super chats real quick. Adam L with the member message for the 6-month member celebration. Appreciate you, Adam. Bar has grown astronomically high. Favorite chapter of the year. That's a high bar to cross right now, you know, with how many crazy chapters we've had. So if you're saying it's chapter of the year, I mean, you know, we've been resetting the scale every week for what a 10 is, so I wouldn't be shocked. Mr. Bushido, my man, with the 5 gifted memberships, appreciate you. W's in the chat. I already saw there were some W's earlier for Bushido because I'm a little late, but either way, Bushido, much love. I appreciate you. Then with your 40-month member message, which is crazy. It's hard for me to believe I've even been making content for 40 months, although it's been 4 years now. But you also said chapter of the year, so that's now 2 people saying that already, which is pretty insane. GG's Boxcar the GOAT with the 5 gifted memberships as well. GG, thank you very much, bro. Seriously, I appreciate you for everything. And also you had a 20-month member message, and I will get to the other ones, but you said, I require more Red Bull. Well, I'll have you know, GG, I was just at the card shop, because of course I was at the card shop. Where else would I be? I go there every day, pretty much. And they had some Red Bull Dawn cards there. And I might have to snag you one of those at some point. One of my friends has 9 of them, because he actually did the event. But yeah, maybe we got to get you a Red Bull card. There's actually one that's like $300-something, but we ain't going to worry about that one. But the other ones are like 60-something, I think. Mr. Bushido with the €2. Carrot arrives and she kills Emu. Well, thank you for not spoiling me, because I know there's no chance that happened, you know, so thank you very much for the non-spoiler, Bushido. Even Carrot arriving alone would be crazy, but killing Emu, I mean, that'd be insane. I know I'm going out of order here, but Quanidin with the $2 super chat. 12 out of 10 chapter. Oda cooked once again, as always. Well, hey, man, if you're saying 12 out of 10, you already know that's a good sign, because we agree every single week pretty much. So, I mean, we got 2 people saying chapter of the year. We got a 12 out of 10. And then we got John Stoops down here with the $5 super chat saying, oh, Dak, you're not ready, I promise. 11 out of 10 chapter today. Happy reading. Y'all, I'm pumped. I mean, I was already pumped. You know, I mean, with the way the last chapter ended with Sanji, and I mean, and even Luffy telling Emu, you know, like, Joy Boy's not my name, or he didn't say that exactly, but you know what I mean. Basically what he was saying. I was already pumped, but I mean, if y'all are hyping this up, I mean, we got a lot to look forward to. Alexander Ivanov, aka Ivankov, with the 11-month member message, almost a year, bro. Thank you very much. WDAC, like the stream, blasting Pal World 1.0. You know, I never really got into Pal World, but I should have. I watched a lot of streams of it, so yeah, maybe I need to go check that out. But Alexander, I appreciate you very much. Thank you. Rice Lucas, Lonely Mage with the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate you as always, brother, for all your generosity. Thank you. I see some W's in the chat. As of course, thank you very much, guys. And and Bushido. I like this one, Bushido. This is a good one. This is a good one. For €2, I require more Green Bull, which is that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It would be crazy if Green Bull actually showed up this chapter, and that was like not that you were spoiling me, but a very sly way of not spoiling me. But I'd be shocked if he showed up. That would be insane. But all right, guys, we got caught up. Thank you all, as always, for all your generosity. I seriously cannot appreciate or tell you guys how much I appreciate it enough. You guys know what I mean. So thank you. And also want to say thank you guys for all the support on the last video. That's like my best video in a while. So seems like you guys were enjoying it. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you did, if you haven't, definitely go check it out. But yeah, thank you guys. All right. Let's go ahead and get into it, guys. One Piece chapter 1188. Wailing Void, as it's called, which, like I kind of alluded to earlier, I got some theories already on what that could be. Oh, wow. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, well, it says it right on the cover. So, by the way, shout out to Comfy BFG for joining the Afro Gang. I appreciate you. And that's actually a great segue to mention the card, the TCG giveaway that I usually do for OP17. I'll be doing another one for the members. The sign up hasn't happened yet because I usually wait till I get my pre-orders, which I should get in the next week. So keep an eye on the community tab if you're a member and you want to get in on the TCG giveaway for the next Elbaf set, actually. But on this cover page here, it has Luffy eating a bunch of meat for the 29th anniversary of One Piece, which, that's crazy that we're having the 29th anniversary and we're still not done. Like, that, I think that's amazing. But as you guys can see on the cover, it says One Piece card game and has a card with that art on it of Luffy eating all the meat and stuff. And that actually went live a few days ago in English as well. You could have gotten it on premiumbandai.com. And I was up at 10 p.m. ready to go to pre-order this. And the site crashed and like all the bots got it, right? None of us got the card. At least nobody that I know got the card. It was like a booklet of 8 of them for $10, which is like, I mean, super steal. And so they're actually sending out emails to people separately to pre-order. So like if you already had an account and like you've ordered before, I think, and stuff like that, then you're eligible to be given an email to get the card, which is awesome. I'm really glad they're doing that so the bots don't get it. But yeah, it's awesome art, and I just wanted to mention that. So if you are interested in getting one of the English versions of that card, make an account on premiumbandai.com, like p-bandai.com. And you might luck out and get an email. Maybe you won't get one this time, but you want to make an account either way so you can get in on the future ones. But yeah, it's crazy that for $10 you could get 8 of those cards and they're textured and everything. Like Bandai's cooking. Bandai's cooking. But all right, now we're into the, well, I was about to say the real chapter, but we actually have a color page this time, not a cover page. But I really like this one. So we're all underwater here. We got so Jinbei's swimming by these sharks and they look. I don't really know what they do. Are they like scared of him, right? Because like he's like the boss. Is that what's going on? We got Sanji with like a snorkel thing and like it looks like a little air bubble thing behind him, I think. Got this giant turtle, obviously. Nami looking great. Got Usopp back there. Frankie and his own little crab boat thing. This is cool. This is cool. Not a whole lot to write home about, I feel like, but I like it. It's some good art, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I just saw in the chat. Eden, man, I'm internet. I'm sorry if I butchered that name, but you said saluting sharks. Yeah, that's what it is. They're like saluting him because he's like the boss, for sure. For sure. Alrighty. Now we're into the real chapter, the meat and potatoes of the chapter. Recalling a certain day. Are we getting like a emu flashback right now? Is that, or like a little mini one? Or hold on. Hello? Hello, answer me. Buzz buzz. Hello? Huh? What the? Who are you? This is Moo. Emu. Who is this? Oh, me? I'm Joy Boy. So obviously this is like he's, you know, well, it says recalling a certain day, so obviously he's calling back to a conversation he had with Joy Boy. And they're talking over the phone. I don't know why. Maybe this is like way off base, but the first thing that comes to mind here is like Loki and Mosa, just because like they're like friends who've never met, but they communicate over the phone. And this seems like Emu and Joy Boy met each other over the phone or something, or maybe they did know who each other were, but they're, you know, I mean, they're introducing themselves a little bit. Like, that's the first thing that came to mind. I don't know if that's even like a good parallel to make, but this is so weird, right? Like, anyway, I'm just gonna keep going. Maybe they'll explain it. I'm Joy Boy. Yes, Joy Boy is already dead. Going back to the end of the last chapter, I presume, where Luffy's like, I'm not Joy Boy kind of thing. So why dost thou, I love the way Imu talks. So why dost thou insist on stirring these memories? And now we got Imu with like flames all around his arm now. Heck if I know, because Luffy has no idea what's even really happening. And so Imu goes for the punch with the firearm, like not like a gun, but literally an arm of fire. He dodged? Aim down. Down. Okay, so now they're trying to like catch Luffy's head, I guess, because like the fire is alive, kind of like a homie, like we've seen a few times now. And now, oh wow! So Imu's arm, it's almost like Jet Culverine, right? In a way, where he went one direction and it just bent the other one, but it's like the flames or the Maki did it for him, right? Like it's like he doesn't even really have to think about it, I'm guessing, is what some of this logic is. So this is such a cool panel, seeing his arm bend down and hit Luffy. Like, I love it. That's so cool. So Luffy gets hit into the ground, and he's like stuck in the ground for a second, but he gets back up, which this panel of him like flying back up to Imu, I suppose, jumping back up to Imu, reminds me a lot of when he fought Kaido and he got hit with the Boro breath, right? And then he was like all black for a second, like covered in ash, and then he like just Gear 5 logic, like kicked it all off or whatever. And looks like he tried to hit Imu but missed, and Imu is behind him now. It does kind of look like Luffy. I mean, not totally, but it does kind of even going back to when Kaido hit him. It looks like Luffy's like Gear 5 afro is turning into like a regular looking afro, you know, because it got like burnt, which I don't know if there's anything to read into there, but so Imu goes for a stab and he misses. Tap. And now Luffy is just doing like a Gatling, I guess. Okay. Damn it. I thought that was a sure hit. So they're both just kind of read and reacting really quick, right? Like both of them are able to kind of predict each other's moves a little bit, or maybe not predict, but you know. And now he's Imu's pulling the Maki back out, doing pow pow pow. I love that sound effect, but he's like shooting the Maki out like bullets, which I think he's done before. Yikes. So now we see Luffy running, and Imu's still doing the pow pow pow, it looks like, sending all like the little bullets or missiles at him. Whoa, they're after me. They're bombs, right? Gum Jet Gatling, and he's punching them. This is so interesting, man. I mean, guys, we gotta just take a second to recognize, like, we're seeing Luffy versus Imu right now, which is like just crazy town. And I think it's so interesting that the little Maki things are alive. And so Luffy's punching him, Jet Gatling, and they're all blowing up. Gum. Majin? What am I looking at, bro? What am I looking at? Like, Luffy just became like a genie. It's like him and Daifuku just merged. He just borrowed Daifuku's fruit. Bro, what is this? Is this like the beginning of like is this like the same logic as Gear 4, but with Gear 5? You know what I mean? Like, is Luffy just going to start doing all sorts of random forms with Gear 5 just because he can, you know? Like how he had a bunch of Gear 4 forms? Like, I don't know if that's really what it is. It's probably just a gag or something. Maybe not. I don't know. Probably not. I don't know what's happening. But it feels like that. Like, this is... what am I looking at, man? What... Oh, man. Ho, 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 ho. Don't think I missed what happened in your fight with Loki. I'm not gonna let his death go to waste. Loki ain't dead. Let's chill. I'm still alive, jackass. All right, there we go. Thank you. I'm glad that he said that, too. Oh, you're still kicking, Loki? And now we got Emu getting some more Maki ready to roll. Damn it all. Squeak, squeak. Get out of the way, Ragnir. Huh? Arabesque tile punch. And so now we got Jinbei jumping in. Oh, wait. Oh, was Emu getting ready to attack Loki this time to, like, finish him off? Was that the idea? Or maybe he was attacking Luffy and Luffy dodged it. It's kind of hard to tell because Luffy's in between. But I think he's going for Loki because Ragnir is, like, getting ready to tank the attack for him, which I gotta say, major shout out to my boy Ragnir. That's what I'm talking about right there. Ragnir standing in the way of the attacks, bro. But then Jinbei getting in the way is also pretty peak. And I wonder if the logic is, like, with him using Fishman Karate and, like, using the moisture in the air, does that do better against Emu's attacks? Is Fishman Karate, like, the secret to beating Emu? I don't know if that's really where this is going, but I don't know. We'll see. Jinbei, Luffy, just say the word and I'll protect him for you. See, I love that. I want some Jinbei moments like that. No more. It's actually kind of Fireman Jinbei round 4. If I'm being honest, this is actually Fireman Jinbei again. So I shouldn't be pumped about this, but I'm cool with this Fireman Jinbei. If it's the Maki fire, then we're cooking. If it's regular fire and we're doing some ocean shoulder throws again or whatever it's called, I think I'm good. But this is cool. This is cool. Thanks. He's my buddy. I'll leave him to you, Jinbei. Who are you calling buddy? Frickin' runt. All right. Now that I can focus, I'll handle this guy. Luffy, he's fighting that guy from earlier. Is he going to be okay? Who the hell is he up against? Ooh, Brooke. Hold on, Brooke's cooking. Plumed Blackhead, I saw you in the chat. You're like, I won't be calling him Fish Bay this break week. I wasn't familiar with your game. Yeah, no, that's a great moment for Jinbei. For sure. For sure. But all right, Brooke's cooking. What do you got to say, Brooke? He's clearly higher ranked than the Knights. But I thought only the 5 elders were above them. He could just be the head of the Gods Knights. That's gotta be it. The world government is always shrouded in mystery. Hey, Brooke, we've got to get back. Ah, Princess Shuri. Oh, yeah, so now she is also getting freed. You can see, like, she's halfway out of the ice now, it looks like. What should we do? How do you deal with a frozen person? Well, there was that time Robin and Luffy were frozen. Wait, this happened to them too? Gunko. Thou hast yet to break the ice. Gum Gum. A man with an afro who refers to Gunko as Princess Shuri. It cannot be. Afro mention included in the chapter. I am pumped. Emu talking about my boy Brook right now. He's in disbelief that my boy is here. Sucker punching bullet. All right, I gotta say I'm loving the genie form for Luffy. It's so random, but I don't care. It's sick. I don't know. I have no idea where this came from. I don't know what Oda was smoking before he decided to do this, but I love it. Didst thou not just boast about seeing what became of Loki in his gargantuan body? Now we got the bell ringing again. Stigma, same thing. But now Luffy's out of that mode and is a big, like, poof. And he, you know, is, like, flying off to the side to dodge the attack. Because he had the Maki stuff on his beard or whatever. And now we got more Maki bullets going after him. And now they're chasing Luffy. He's running away. Shh. Okay. What are you cooking, Emu? Now I see Emu twirling the staff. Another little Maki thing just came out. I don't really know what the order I'm supposed to read the panels in, but I'm just going to keep staying at the top here. And it looks like this sword is coming out of his ring of fire thing now. Sword of the Wailing Void. And yeah, he literally has a sword now that he just pulled out of the ring of fire. And this tree next to him, or I guess technically it's like a tree branch because it's all the Atom Tree, right? It just like wilted away. Kanji reads Void or Emptiness Sword. Furigana Bofu is a homophone for howling wind or storm. It's like he just sucked the life out of the tree, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like he, like, burnt it, because it's like, it looks like the sword's flaming as well. It looks like he killed the tree, you know what I mean? All of them look dead on the next panel. Oh my god, it's crazy. Okay. Huh? The forest is wilting? The view is improving. It looks fine from here. It is clear. Thou art not Joy Boy. What? Oh, bro. Woo! Yo. Joy Boy would never be this weak. The majestic power of the king of the world. Break next week. Yo. Yo. Woo! Wow. Captain Golden Boy in the chat. World's greatest swordsman. That's right. Vista and Mihawk gotta take a back seat. Man, wow. I mean, dude, the art on this panel with him, like, with the way it's shaded and like the how much blood there is. Yo, this, I don't know if this is about to be a hot take. I hope not, but I love it. Like, because obviously Luffy ain't gonna be dead, right? I mean, Luffy, like, we're gonna figure this out eventually. But for this moment in time, I love this. It's very much like Kaido round 1, right, with the Thunder Bagua. It's similar to that, where like the first time Luffy fights the big bads, he's got to lose and he's got to kind of get cooked. And so I love it, even though it's like shocking, but I love it. Oh man, where do we even go from here though? Like, I love this feeling of suspense right now though, because like, not only is Luffy getting cooked, but right before this, like, Emu's like killing the Atom Tree, right? Like, not the whole tree, but like this part of it. And we obviously have Zoro and Sanji trying to figure out their stuff against the other Gods Knights, excuse me. I love this. Man, y'all weren't kidding with the chapter of the year talk, man. This was a phenomenal chapter. Phenomenal. Man, we got to see Luffy versus Emu round 1. We had the Ragnir moment. We had the Brook hype for a little bit. The Majin thing. But then the end where Emu is like, yeah, you're not Joy Boy. You're not strong enough. Like that. I love that too, because it sets up two things. Like, one, obviously Luffy does need to have some decently substantial growth, I would say. I don't know where that's going to be, because obviously he's already awakened and he has conquerors and all that, so there's, you know, there must be another level to get to somewhere. But like, just from Imu's perspective and Joy Boy's perspective, like, now we kind of get a feel for how strong Joy Boy really was. Like, for Imu, you know, to be able to cook Luffy like this now, it's like, okay, so Joy Boy had to be on a whole other level. You know what I mean? And like, we go back to the hockey rope from Egghead. It's the same kind of thing where, like, for his hockey to be that strong where it sends all the Gorosei back home, now we kind of know where Luffy needs to get to, because that was just... I think Joy Boy said it was like his strongest hockey, but at the same time, that was like a storage of his hockey in a rope. That wasn't even like, you know, Joy Boy in the flesh or anything. So this really shows the gap, you know, and I love that. I mean, we're this late in the story. It took almost 1,200 chapters to see Luffy fight the final villain, in quotes. Maybe it'll end up being Blackbeard, but, you know, the king of the world and stuff, and like, there's still this big of a gap, you know? Oh, man, I love it. I love it. And there's a break next week, so we got to just stew over this, you know, for 2 weeks now, man. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Can't get over this. This is so cool. B-Plot, you said the Majin thing is so goofy. I'm still trying to figure out why it happened or what Oda's doing with it. I have no idea either. I have no idea. Like, I do think there will be a reason. And I will get to all the super chats here shortly, by the way. I'm in my immediate shock mode right now. But yeah, that might be the most, I shouldn't say shocking thing of the chapter. The most shocking thing is that Luffy got stabbed by this sick sword, the Wailing Void or whatever. But that is almost the most surprising thing, is Luffy being like a genie. I don't know where that's going necessarily, but it's definitely going somewhere. Like, Oda has a plan with that. And like I brought up, like, this is definitely like Daifuku's fruit, right? Like, he has a genie that is, I don't want to say identical to this, because they do look somewhat different, but almost identical, you know, like Oda 100% just made a Luffy Gear 5 version of Daifuku's fruit. Also, I just realized, is there like a piece of meat that's like the pin holding the headpiece together? I think it is. I think he has like a piece of meat as like the button or whatever to hold it together, which is hilarious. He does, yeah, you can see it on the other panels. That's funny. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that's going. That is like the craziest, maybe the craziest thing. Wow. I feel like that was kind of a quick chapter. I guess it was, because there wasn't a whole lot of talking. It was a lot of like images, which were amazing. But wow, that was a big time chapter. Big time. Real quick, I just want to shout out a couple member message donations, just so I don't miss these, because if I don't get them now, they'll go away and I'll forget about them. Knack Talk, my boy Knack with the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. We probably already had the W's in the chat for Knack, but thank you very much, brother. Also, Knack, I wanted to let you know that I picked up a couple more Mamaragans today from the card shop, and I almost have the Sengoku deck ready. So if you want to play tonight, so I can get familiarized before locals tomorrow, I'm totally down. But thank you either way for the donation, brother, as always. And as a guest with the 5 gifted memberships, thank you as a guest. Seriously, appreciate you. I'm sure the chat has already serenaded you with some W's. If you guys have not, please do so now. But thank you as a guest. And also, you had a member message that I'll also get to now. Member for 39 months. My guy. Howdy, Dak. That Joy Boy smile looks like Luffy. And I'm glad you brought that up. I did kind of skip over that at the very beginning, but it does. And if you go back a few chapters ago, when we saw the other little flashback thing where like Joy Boy and Imu met, where like Imu was walking up where he almost looked like his like silhouetted form, right? And he was walking up to Luffy, or to Joy Boy. He kind of looked like Luffy there, also a little bit like Ace. Even here, I get a little bit of Ace as well. I feel like Oda is maybe going to call back to both of them in a way, but I definitely get the Luffy vibes from that for sure. Oda's definitely... I mean, if you go back to the one where we saw him with Emeth, he looked a lot like Luffy there for sure. So I think that's definitely where Oda's going for sure. But thank you very much as a guest, and Knack for your gifted memberships. And I shouted everyone else out earlier for the gifted memberships. So like I said, just wanted to get to those real quick because Streamlabs does not hold on to those very well. But wow, man. Luffy really got cooked like that. And another thing that, well, you guys might be bringing this up in the super chat, so I won't go too deep, but the Jinbei thing too. Like, I mean, Jinbei's strong and everything. He's got a billion berry bounty or whatever, but for him to stop Imu's Maki attacks with just the Arabesque Tile Punch, I feel like Fishman Karate definitely is gonna, like, have a play here against the Maki stuff. I genuinely think that's where this is going, because the other angle to it is that Robin could now have even more of a role in this, right? Because, like, Robin didn't learn hockey, but she opted to learn Fishman Karate. And we saw that with Black Maria, and it just gave her, like, a little bit of a power-up, you know what I mean? But now, if it does work against Maki, and we have a situation where the whole crew is kind of protecting Luffy, like we're trying to stall and hold off Imu or something, and maybe that's kind of what Oda's going for, is he wants to highlight the crew's importance. Like, maybe Imu will be like, you may not be Joy Boy, but your crew feels like his, or something like that. That would be really hype for the crew, and I would love that very much, especially based off how my last video was. I would love something like that. But that could let Robin have a big role, where if Robin stops a Maki attack, it's like, oh wow, you know, like that moment from the time skip wasn't like a throwaway, you know, like it wasn't just a random power up. There's a reason for it, you know. So yeah, it's crazy, man. There's a lot of interesting stuff in this chapter. Emulsify, you said the genie has to have some kind of special wish ability. Yeah, that's a good thing to think of too, like, because, like, you know, it's just Gear 5. It's just Luffy, like, doing some weird Gear 5 stuff. But I do think Oda's going to go somewhere with it. And him granting, like, a wish, even if it's all just baked into Gear 5 logic, like, you know, he, like, remember how he pulled the sunglasses out of his hair in Gear 5 or whatever? Maybe he can start doing similar things, and so he's, like, granting wishes, but it's really, like, I don't know, maybe he's, like, manipulating this steam within Gear 5 or something. I don't know. But, like, it feels like there's definitely going to be a reason for this beyond just, hey, here's a random cool new form, you know. It's because, like, if he was in it for, like, one panel and then went out of it, then I would think maybe it's just a weird gag that Oda threw in there. But, I mean, he was in it for a few pages, you know? Like, he punched Imu while he was in that form. So, like, I think we're going to see it again. So, yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some wish granting or some extra something he does with that, because that is, like, so particular. But all right, I'm going to go ahead and get into the super chats now. I want to see what you guys are cooking. I feel like there's a lot of good theory, you know, points to make out of this chapter. Mr. Bushido with the €5. Cover shows Nami and Jinbei being the only good ones not in a breathing bubble or a breathing mask. Might help my Nami as part Fishman theory, like Chimney. You know, as I've said, almost every time you've given one of these theories, I feel like I'm not too big on taking theories from the color pages, but yeah, I mean, Nami's the only one out there. I mean, Nami has also, like, been in the water and hasn't, you know, like, it's not like she can breathe in the water or anything, but she did have, like, whenever Sanji was in her body in Punk Hazard or whatever, he was like, her body's more durable than he thought or whatever, and he was like swimming, really far in her body and stuff. So that could have been some foreshadowing. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at all if that ended up being true. I feel like Nami being part like Skypian would make more sense, but it could be both. Could be. So we'll see. RQ, member for 20 months. You just said hello. Well, hello, RQ. I'm so glad you're here. I'm glad you got to see this amazing chapter, man. This was crazy. So hello to you as well. Lucas, the Lonely Mage, with the $5 super chat. No Den Den Mushi sound effect that first page. Good point. Maybe they used actual phones instead of snails. You might be cooking, man. You might be cooking. By the way, Lowe's, Lowe's 7, you said Emu took the joy out of that boy. I like that line. That was fire. But Lucas, I mean, I have to go back. So whenever we see a Den Den Mushi in the manga, or like whenever somebody's calling on the Den Den Mushi, does it say Buzz Buzz, or does it say something else? Because like in the anime, it's like butter 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 butter, it's that thing. So I don't know in the manga what it says. I can't remember. Does it? Because I feel like Buzz might be how they translate it. But what does it say? What does it say normally for a Den Den Mushi? I don't remember in the manga. Because they don't put like butter 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 butter, right? It says something else. B plot, you said, yeah, it said Buzz Buzz, but is that what it normally says for a Den Den Mushi typically? You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of like a chapter. I guess I could go to like whenever we first met Loki or something, right? And I think that would probably, or not when we first met him, but somewhere around then, right? Whenever he first called Mosa. I know it's somewhere. Now they're already talking, so there's not the phone ringing. Time Lord, you said, is it like BZZT? I don't know. I genuinely can't remember. Trying to think of another page, another chapter that had a Den Den Mushi in it. Like where somebody called and then they picked up. Like maybe after Egghead when Kizaru talked to Akainu? I can't remember. Man, I feel like I've never had this much trouble finding... Oh, here it is. Hold on. Nope, they don't, Let's see. Now, just in this one, yeah, it just says BZZ. For whenever Akainu and Kizaru talked, it just says BZZ instead of... what does it say this chapter? Just that it says Buzz, which, like, that's just TCB translation. So, yeah, maybe we'll have to wait till the official, but... that would be interesting if they're not snails, though, for sure. Which could make sense, because if the Ancient Kingdom is highly advanced, they might have had normal phones, right? Which is kind of what you're getting at. So I think it would make a lot of sense, but I'm not sure if the Buzz Buzz is enough of a, signifier yet. I don't know. But either way, I love the thought. That would be so cool if they had, like, legitimate phones back then, Let's see. Azagast, I already did that one. Mr. Bushido with the €2. Afro mention, 100 emoji, trophy emoji. I completely agree. And I think you may have said that like right as I was getting to it or something too, because I think I glanced over and saw it. But yeah, super peak, man. I mean, for Emu to bring up Brook, and not just bring up Brook, but bring up that he has an afro. Hey, all my theory alarms are going off right now for sure. For sure. I've been meaning to do an update on the Lafro Tail theory for a while because I have a lot of updates to do. So maybe that's something I'll work on now, just to hurry up and get that done before we get the full reveal of the next leg of the theory. Because the next part of the theory is a lot about Davy Jones and how Rocks connects into all this and stuff, and I think it gives a lot of proof to the theory. So I might have to hurry up before we learn more about Davy Jones, but yeah, I'm pumped there was an Afro mention for sure. Then Bushido, another one with €2. Luffy about to sing "Friends Like Me." Hold on. Do I know that song? Oh, from Aladdin? Is that? Oh, okay. Now I get it. From Aladdin. Yep. Now it's coming to mind. Yep. He is. Toei wouldn't want to get in any kind of like copyright trouble or anything, but it would be kind of funny if they gave a nod to some sort of famous genie related song or movie or something whenever they animate this, I feel like Aladdin would be the one to go to for sure, but that's a good call. That's a good call. Anihime with the $10 super chat. Joy Boy referring to himself as Joy Boy instead of his legal name is interesting. I did not even really think about that. That's true. He does call himself Joy Boy. So it's like so I guess that's interesting. He seemed technologically savvy when communicating with Emu. He's already a smarter Luffy, getting tech prodigy vibe. He does seem like a smarter Luffy so far. I totally agree with that. I haven't really thought about that much, but it does feel like he's a more competent Luffy, and I don't like saying that because it's like, I mean, Luffy is competent, but he's also incompetent in many ways, and yeah, he does feel like that, doesn't he? And even like when he calls Emu here, and even going back to the rope, like he's telling Emeth, like he's coming up with the plan, like, I'm gonna put this hockey here, you're gonna need it in the future, trust me. It's like he knew that. So yeah, it does feel that way, doesn't it? Iman Pro, you said Luffy's a massive dumbass, we can admit it. True. I mean, it's true. In combat and stuff, he's a genius sometimes, but in general, Luffy's an idiot. But Joy Boy seems like a very competent Luffy for sure. And I like that. If that's the route that Oda goes, that Joy Boy was like a smarter, more competent Luffy, but maybe ultimately that competence is part of why he failed. Like maybe he thought too much about it. Like he came up with too many plans. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's something here where if he was a little bit simpler minded, he would have saved the world. But because he wasn't, he overthought it, and that's kind of why we're in this mess. But by the same token, I would imagine that him overthinking it is part of how this prophecy is happening. Like, he probably set things up so that Luffy even had a chance to come back and save the world. So I don't know. Maybe he was, undone by his own hubris in a way, or maybe his hubris is what saved the world because they would have lost either way. But he's like, well, maybe I can't win, but somebody in the future can, I think there's a lot of potential here for like a lot of fun outcomes. So yeah, I completely agree, Anihime. That is a very interesting thing. The fact he called himself Joy Boy is like he's adopting that mantle, and it's making me think if he is like a mastermind, if he's the one who put together this 800-year plan to save the world and all that, part of me wonders if like him calling himself Joy Boy is part of the plan too. Like like, I mean, this is a really crazy theory. It's just the first thing that came to mind because this is always something that I thought would be cool that's been in the back of my mind. But like, what if Joy Boy's original identity, like he did have, you know, a real name, but what if he got like hit with the same thing Sugar did, so everyone forgot who he was? So then maybe he's like, well, I'll pick a different name and make a new name for myself. And now then he became Joy Boy. So and that's why he calls himself that, because nobody recognizes his original name because they forgot him, which, like, again, that is like a crazy theory. Like, I'm not saying that's even likely or I have evidence for it. I just thought I always thought that was a cool way that Oda could go about it. But then that would be why he took the name Joy Boy, because it's like, well, I got to go make a new name for myself because the original one got deleted. And so now I'm Joy Boy. It's like people are more used to this name, or, you know, something like that. But regardless, the way that he's taken the mantle of Joy Boy is very interesting, for sure. For sure. Mr. Bushido, again, with the £5 super chat. Been saying Luffy is still not Pirate King level and has to grow more. I agree. That he wasn't ready for Emu. People laughed, but look what just happened. Weird the hat wasn't cut. I'm going to go look at the hat part. I didn't really think about that. But that would... If there was another time for the straw hat to get damaged, it would be right now. Like, for Emu to do it in their initial meeting to show how strong he is. And then also that would be cool just for, like, from Oda's perspective, like, the two people who've cut the straw hat are Buggy and Emu. And then if Buggy ends up sitting on the throne, there's, like, you know, there's just a cool little parallel there. But yeah, it does look like the hat barely escaped the cut. It's, like, under the sword. But I completely agree with you that, like, it would have been really off-putting, honestly, or just whack if Luffy beat Emu here, you know? Like, it's one thing for Luffy to, like, throw hands for a little bit like he was, like, dodge some attacks, get some hits in that, you know, I mean, he got one in the other chapter, you know, like a surprise attack kind of thing, but this makes sense that Emu would just kind of overpower him. And I mean, Loki is kind of dead to rights too right now, so I really don't know how they're going to get out of this. But yeah, I mean, Luffy's got some serious growth to do for sure. I mean, and I mean, I guess it's just that his hockey has to be stronger, but I mean, he already has Conqueror, so it's like, maybe it's just me. I don't know if I'm going to, like, love if the answer is just more hockey, you know, like, keep honing your hockey more and more and more. Like, that'll be part of it, but I hope there's a little extra to it. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it's Maki instead of hockey. Like, maybe he's got to figure out how this Maki stuff works and he's got to use it. Like, maybe Luffy has to learn Fishman karate. Like, I don't know what it is, but I hope it's something other than just hockey. So we'll see. We will see. Lucas, the Lonely Mage, with the $20 super chat. Lucas, seriously, thank you all very much for all your generosity, brother. Seriously. With Luffy and Loki down, Emu taking notice of Brook, and Zoro and Sanji in position to take down the Gods Knights, I think we're in for a collective Straw Hats versus Emu fight until Luffy gets back up. It better happen. And right now, I can't see another option. So I agree. I mean, maybe Loki gets back up because he's just a tank or something. But, I mean, it feels like he's down for the count for a reason. And Oda even highlighted that this chapter, right? And with everyone else busy, it's got to be just a collective Straw Hat thing, right? And you may have sent this even before I said it, but earlier I mentioned, like, there could be a cool moment where Emu is fighting all the Straw Hats and he's like, well, Joy Boy, or your captain may not be Joy Boy, but you feel like Joy Boy's crew, or, you know, hyping up the crew in some way. I think that would be awesome for the moment we're at right now. Cause, like, we're getting the Sanji hype with the Killingham stuff. I mean, we're kind of getting the Zoro hype with Summers. I mean, it's hype that he's fighting him and probably going to win, but I don't really know. I feel like it's not like that special yet. I mean, maybe Zoro will get Maki or something, or learn how it works or something like that. Or like some Black Blade nonsense. But the rest of the crew, this feels like their time for sure. I mean, we still don't know how Chopper cured Domi Reversi, so that could come into play somehow. Frankie just got the Super Cola, and that could come into play somehow. I mean, we just saw Jinbei with potential Fishman Karate super effectiveness against Maki, which could come into play. I mean, Usopp. Guys, this is the Usopp moment, right? This has gotta be where Usopp becomes a brave warrior of the sea, because he saves Luffy. That's gotta be it. That's gotta be it. What could it be? Because I do think it'll be Collective Straw Hats, but it's gotta be Usopp at the end who really saves the day, right? It's gotta be. Is he gonna, like, scare Imu away? You know, like, I don't know what Usopp can do. But this would be the perfect moment for that to happen. Parker Smith, you said, I had that thought too, because I don't see Imu not trying, or because I don't see Imu not trying to finish Luffy off is probably what you meant. Yeah, and you corrected down there. Yeah, no, I agree. It's like Imu is probably going to be all about, let me kill this guy so I'm good. And the crew is going to have to just try to hold off Imu, which they can for a while. But, like, I don't know if Luffy's going to get up in a quick enough time frame for the crew to keep holding Imu off. Like, it seems like Luffy's going to be healing for a week plus, you know? In real life, I mean, it's going to be months, but for Luffy, probably like a week or a couple days or something. And I don't know if they can hold off Imu that long. So, like, they got to send Imu out of here somehow. And I feel like Usopp's the only way, man. It's the only way. I mean, I shouldn't say only. Oda might have all sorts of other plans in store. Who knows? But in my mind, that's like the only way I see is that we get some crazy Usopp shenanigans. He scares Imu off or finds his weakness and sends him back or whatever. It could be his, like, Imu's sickness. Maybe Imu's, when he was like coughing and bleeding out of his mouth whenever he pulled up. Maybe that catches up to him and we just get lucky that he gets sent out of here. But I think Usopp, man. Give him Ragnar, Nak said. Yeah, maybe that's what happens. Maybe all the other Straw Hats jump in and are holding Imu off, and Usopp's sitting there, kind of like earlier, where he's like, I have nothing that can even help here. I have no abilities. I'm not strong enough. I don't know how I can even help. This is my crew's biggest battle yet, and my captain's almost dead, and I can't do anything. You know, he has all these introspective moments where he can't help. But then maybe he picks up Ragnar and he's just the savior. Like, I don't know if it would be that simple, but it's got to be Usopp. I'm becoming more and more convinced it's got to be. This has to be it. Where he stands up, saves his captain from the Demon Lord, and Elbaf writes these legends about how brave Usopp is. You know, and that's how it happens. It just feels like that's where it's going for sure. So yeah, Lucas, I agree with your super chat either way. We got to get some crew highlights here in a moment. Like, they all jump in to defend Luffy. I'm going to be so hyped next chapter. Because, like, I mean, I love everything that's going on. But when the crew gets highlighted and it's specifically in the way of where they are, like, going to the next level to defend and help Luffy, that's like my favorite sauce of One Piece, or one of them. And that's why like the last video I did, that's part of why I did it, is like we have this whole crew of just goats, like these amazing people at all these different things that could have almost been like the main character in the story if Luffy didn't exist. You know, they're all like so important. But then when they put it to the side and like, or not even put it to the side, but they reach another level specifically to help Luffy, that's like, It's the Sanji thing from last chapter. It's the same idea. So I think all of them are about to do it. We're about to see the whole crew reach the next level because they have to save Luffy, right? Sign me up. I'm so ready. Mr. Bushido with a questionable €2 super chat here. Birch, are you in the chat? Alert to Birch. Emu kills trees. He's a good guy, Mr. Bushido says. So, Birch, I don't know if you're in the chat, but those are some fighting words from Mr. Bushido. But yeah, you know, I might have to turn one of these panels into a sticker for the server just for Birch whenever he's out of line, for sure. John Stoops with the $5 super chat. So whose turn is it to face Emu now? He can't be allowed to go fight Zoro or Sanji. His God's Knights have to go down to weaken him further. Shuri, Usopp. So yeah, we were just talking about this. And actually, you brought up Shuri. That's a good point. So obviously, we talked about the Straw Hats a lot, and I think they are definitely the answer. Shuri, though, is also a good answer that we did not talk about. And I actually really like that because she's halfway out of the ice right now. So really, whenever Oda wants, she will be out of the ice. It's melting at whatever speed Oda needs it to. And yeah, if Shuri comes out and is like freed of her chains, so to speak, you know, she's like able to have her own free will back, her jumping in to help, that actually makes some sense. That actually does make a lot of sense. And I don't know if she would like stop Emu, but she would probably be one of the top people to hold him off for a little bit, right? So I would imagine that she's going to join the rest of the Straw Hats in trying to hold him off. It'll be like a whole team effort. Maybe she'll lead the charge by saying like, hey, if you want to stop this, you got to do this, or his ability works like this, so don't get hit by this, you know, like explaining how the little Maki bullets work and stuff. I think she's probably going to know, so that might help a lot. Or it could go the other way where she's still evil and we have to deal with both. But and I kind of think that's where it'll start, where she'll come out as Gunko, but maybe Brook will start pleading with her like, hey, I know it wasn't your fault. I've thought about it more and I've realized what happened to you. You're being controlled. Like, fight back. You got this. And then it will get like a heart-wrenching moment where she finally does, and then maybe then she can help. But yeah, man, Shuri's probably gonna have a huge role in this somewhere, for sure. Iman Pro with the $2 super chat. New agenda is final form Luffy with a monkey tail. So are you talking, we're going some Super Saiyan talk, Iman Pro? Is that what you're saying? I mean, honestly, after seeing this genie form, everything's possible. Everything's on the table. After seeing this thing, Oda's going to give us some crazy Gear 5 forms. And if we're going some, you know, Super Saiyan, like, not the regular Super Saiyan, but the giant monkey form Super Saiyan thing. It's not really Super Saiyan, but, you know, it's a power-up, whatever it is. Whatever you call that, where they lose control. That'd be kind of sick. I don't know if Oda's going to do that direct of a call-out, but that would be kind of sick. I mean, his name is Monkey D. Luffy, so I guess it would be completely in the realm of possibility. That would actually be sick. I'm super excited now to see what other Gear 5 forms Oda does, because, like, if he's just picking random stuff to do just because it's cool, we're in for a treat. Like, he's gonna pick all sorts of crazy stuff. I could see a King Kong form, kind of like we're talking about. I could see that. I could see like a Godzilla form. You know, I could see. I think so. We got a genie. I mean, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but there's so many mythological beings, you know, that Oda could choose from. Or even like movie references or whatever that he could choose from. Like, it's gonna be crazy. It is. I'm still shocked at this. It doesn't even look like Luffy. You know what I mean? Like, this genie. It looks like Daifuku's genie, honestly. I'm about to pull up a picture of him. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, it is very similar. Yeah, I can't wait to see what else we're gonna get. Mr. Bushido with the €2. Prediction: Luffy Nika form takes over his mind. You know, I've never been too big on that because I know, because like we heard the thing about awakened zones where like they can control, like they can take over your mind, or you know, for successful awakenings they don't. For me, I've always thought that just we've already passed that Rubicon personally. Like if Luffy was gonna lose his mind, it would have happened originally because he can't control it, but he obviously can. So personally, I don't see it happening. But then again, you know, we're going back to this genie form thing. Maybe if Luffy learns more about Nika in the context, he does know about it now, but maybe he doesn't fully respect it or understand it. Maybe he does do a Nika form, like this genie form. He does a giant Nika form where it's not just him, but it's literally like, you know, he's trying to just be the sun god Nika that everyone hypes up and stuff. And maybe then something like that can happen, but even then, I think he'd control it. But maybe he would be bigger and stronger if he actually tried something like that, you know? But I feel like he's already in sun god Nika form, you know, because that's just what his awakening is. But I don't know. I honestly, who knows at this point? After seeing the genie, I don't know if we should put the limits on this anywhere. You know, it could be anything. Alexander Fiorello with the $2 super chat. I still got to get back to you about that video, by the way. Emu's first attack looked a lot like Gear 4. Completely agree. It looked just like a Jet Culverine, right? Like where it changed direction. But the thing for me that, I mean, Culverine kind of did the same thing a little bit. Not the same logic, but similar outcome in a way. Where like, Emu punched one direction, but then the Maki stuff literally had the discussion like, oh, he dodged, let's go down. And it made the decision to turn 90 degrees. As where Luffy, he kind of punches and it just bends a bunch of different directions. It eventually gets to the target, but it's kind of like just random zigzagging. But like in both cases, they do, you know, ultimately get there, even if it feels random for Luffy. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what to really take from it. Like, if I was to go really theory-pilled about it, I would almost want to say, like, is this showing us that, like, the top tier of Haki is, like, alive? Like, how his Maki is consciously making its own decisions to go after the target? Does top tier Haki do the same thing? Like when Luffy does Jet Culverine, maybe he doesn't know it, but is the Haki on his arm, like, trying to find the target, like, consciously? Like, not just his conscious, but is the Haki actually acting as, like, a homing mechanism a little bit, and he just doesn't know it or hasn't honed it or whatever? I would kind of like that. Like, if Haki, or top-tier Haki, like, is alive, or maybe all Haki is alive, but that only the top tiers really get to, like, utilize it, you know? And honestly, the more I think about it, the more that makes sense, because that also ties into, like, how, like, swords have a will of their own, but it seems to be that, like, stronger swords have more of a will, or, like, cursed blades have more of a will, right? Like, Enma, we saw Enma, like, had a mind of its own, in a way, you know, where it was taking Zoro's Haki and all that kind of stuff, like, making sure he was worthy. But I don't think every sword does that kind of thing. And so I don't know if Haki's the same idea where, like, all Haki has a will or agenda of its own, or however you want to put it, but maybe the top tiers, like, you can control that will so it helps you in a way. I don't know. But yeah. Either way, it's obviously a callback to Jet Culverine in some way. So I don't know how much we should really dig into it, but definitely that's what's happening. Stan Joy Boy, you said, now I'm thinking of talking fists. I mean, dude, this is in One Piece. I wouldn't even be shocked if we end up having a fight where where Luffy and Emu are punching each other and the fists are talking smack to each other. Like Luffy and Emu will be talking smack to each other, and the fists, as they hit each other, will also be talking smack. You know, like that feels so One Piece to me that I honestly hope it happens. I'm down. Sign me up. Sign me up. Atrix MJ with the $2 super chat. Thoughts on a Denden Mushi being One Piece's final boss? I mean, are you saying that Emu is a Denden Mushi? Because, I mean, I actually would love that. There was a theory, I think like 2 or 3 years ago now by Dire Regulus. Shout out Dire Regulus, by the way, who I remember he did a theory basically saying that Emu could be a transponder snail, which I don't think that's very likely at this point, because I think some of the evidence has been debunked or built upon to a point where it doesn't seem to be true anymore. But I've always loved that idea. I don't know how well it is going to work at this point, but I would love it, honestly. I think that'd be very cool. And, you know, if you wanted to be really theory-pilled about it, you could say, like, well, maybe the logic is, like, you know, we have all, like, the... Well, hold on. Actually, let me double-check something real quick. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this could even tie to the dials, because, like, snails have shells and stuff usually, but the dials are from shellfish, not snails, so never mind. But I was gonna say, like, maybe the logic is that, like, the dials are a really crazy power source and stuff. Maybe Emu actually is using dial powers because he's part snail and whatever. Well, never mind, because the dials are from shellfish. But, yeah, I don't know how the snail theory would work at this point, but if Oda can find a way, I would not be mad. I would not be mad at all, to be honest. Let's see. Mr. Bushido with the €2. Goofy, Mid, and Flaw. Welcome to the club. That's crazy. Goofy, Mid, and Flaw. That's kind of crazy. Goofy, Mid, and Flaw. I've never heard those three referred to as that collectively, but that's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Alexander Fiorello again, appreciate you, brother, with the $5 super chat. Sanji reaching for the crown on the color spread is so symbolic to his Conquerors hockey. I did not even catch that. Do you think Emu called Joy Boy on a snail or another phone? Let me go up here and look at this color page. You know, it's funny. He is kind of reaching for the crown. I think what we're supposed to take away from it is that he's mad that the turtle is getting the attention from Nami, right? Like, I think he's jealous of the turtle because Nami's, like, hugging him, I think is the idea. But you could look at it the way you're talking about, where he's reaching for the crown, right? Like, it might be like a double entendre. I don't know if that really applies, but double meaning. For sure. I didn't really think about that, but yeah, that could be what Oda's going for there. That's a cool little catch. And then as far as the other part, you may have sent this before we talked about it earlier, but I mean, I don't think we have enough to say whether it's a snail or a phone. I would like it for it to be a regular phone. I would probably guess snail just because that's how every call has gone in One Piece, you know? But I would much prefer a phone. I think that would be way cooler. Then Adam L. I see you got 2 super chats in a row here. First off, Luffy, I can't lose. Also, Luffy, Gum Gum Kebab. Yeah, I mean, that's par for the course for Luffy, though. He says he can't lose, and then he'll lose 3 times before he wins. And so he's kind of right. I mean, he's wrong that he lost, but he didn't die. So, you know, it is what it is. But Gum Gum Kebab is right, my friend. And then you said, if this is it, Luffy ate for longer than he fought. That is so true. Luffy ate for months our time. It was probably like 20 minutes or something in Elbaf time. But yeah, he was eating for chapters and chapters and chapters. And he gets out here and he's the one on the kebab. you know, after like two chapters. So not a good look. Not a good look, but I also like it because it shows the gap, right? Like Luffy was eating, got fully prepared. Loki even like tired Emu out a little bit, so to speak. I mean, Emu doesn't seem like he's really stressing out, but you know, he got hit a few times and stuff. And it didn't really make a difference, you know. Luffy still got cooked, so yeah, it's kind of crazy. It really does show the gap. Like, Oda built this all up. Like, okay, here's this moment. Luffy's coming to save the day, and he gets cooked right away, you know? So, big fan personally. Knack Talk with the Canadian $5. Knack, I don't know if you're still here or if you heard me earlier, but let's play some Sim tonight if you got the time. But you said, seen a wild take earlier that all these different weapons Emu is using are all the swords from the original 20 Kings, the swords in the throne room. That would be pretty sick. I mean, we might have to go back and kind of like cross-check if like this sword was seen in the throne room. I don't know if we got like a good enough look, but like you can see it has a very unique design on the blade here. But that would be pretty crazy. If I had to guess, I mean, I would say probably not, just because like the first blade that Emu was using, you know, it's like a big staff thing. We didn't see anything like that. But then the one he pulls out, the Wailing, what is it, the Wailing Void, the Sword of the Wailing Void, like, I mean, that would be pretty sick if he brought that from the throne room, you know? Like, that one maybe. But, like, since that's our only example, I would tend to believe that this is just Emu's sword and that's just where he keeps it or whatever. But if he pulls out a different sword later, if he pulls out a second one, then yeah. Then for sure. But until further notice, I would guess that he's just using his. Tiny Angry Gnome, I saw you said it was in the throne room. He got that from Grand Line Reviews video. Yeah, like this, like if it's just this one, I'm not sure if he's like using all of the swords, you know what I mean? Like this one might just be his, because he was one of the original 20, right? But there was only 19 because Alabasta left. So if that one was there, it might just be his and he's not using the other ones, right? But if he pulls out another sword at some point, then that's definitely what it is, where he's just using whatever sword he feels like out of the 20. But this one, I'm guessing, is his. And I do think it's interesting that it's the Wailing Void. That's such a sick name. Such a sick name. Alexander Fiorello, again, Alexander, thank you very much, brother. How do you think Luffy survives? Someone helps? I mean, it's got to be the crew jumps in, but as far as him, like, surviving, because he's gonna need medical attention, like, right now, I mean, like, you would want to say Chopper, right? But I also think Chopper is gonna have to help hold off Emu, especially with the Domi Reversi stuff, like, not that even Domi Reversi is, like, happening right now, per se, but it's just that he might have some weakness for whatever demonic powers are going on, you know? So I'd almost want to say like Gerd is gonna help him, because it could be a cool little callback, because remember her fingers got cut off, but then Chopper put them back on, and so then if she is helping him, it's kind of like, it's like, you know, Emu started off by hurting her, but then the crew's already helped her, and now she's able to like pay it back by helping Luffy while the crew does other stuff. It's like, that would be a cool little interplay of things. So yeah, so I think the crew will hold him off while Gerd helps. That's my prediction. Although this would be crazy, but it might be possible that Luffy just gets off the sword and he gets up and is like, I'm not done yet. And it's kind of like when he was on the rooftop against Kaido and he like went out of Gear 5 the first time but forced himself back into it anyway. And Kaido was like, dude, you're going to kill yourself or something like that. I could see that situation again, where Luffy tries to stand up and keep fighting, and maybe he does for like a little bit or something. But he's definitely gonna need a doctor shortly, one way or the other. So I'm going Gerd. B plot, you said Chopper's very far away too. He's all the way down near Zaza. You're correct. Although Gerd is over in the like where the castle is, right? She's like in the village thing, and that's kind of far away from this too. I mean, realistically, I think the most likely thing is that Luffy gets dropped off the tree branch and falls down to the realm of the dead, probably. And then maybe like, because like, who would be down there to help him? Like nobody. Maybe the animals help him, like Loki's friends, because like they got like killed or hurt really bad by the Gods Knights, but maybe some of them survived or some of them are going to show up later. No, you know who it's going to be? No. It's going to be those weird masked guys that I think smelled really bad, right? They were like Loki's followers or whatever. Remember them? They had like the dark hoods on and stuff. It's going to be them. Because Oda's got to bring them back somehow. Luffy's going to get thrown off the tree branch. He's going to fall down. And those random guys are going to find him. And that's going to lead into some story with those guys. Like, you know, something like that. I don't know. I don't know who else it would be. I mean, I mean, maybe he doesn't get dropped off the tree branch and maybe someone from the crew takes him over to a doctor or something. I mean, that's also possible, but I kind of like the idea he gets dropped off into the realm of the dead, though. That feels like that's been the theme. That's happened like 3 or 4 times, hasn't it, to like other people? So that's my guess. Anihime with the $10 super chat. I'm calling it now. Joy Boy came up with his nickname because of his love of video games, like Game Boy. His real name is probably like Julian or Ace if he's a Goldie family member and looked like Ace. So that would be kind of interesting because if the ancient kingdom was highly advanced, they probably had things like video games back then. And so it could be that Joy Boy or whatever his real name was, maybe he really liked playing video games and that's where it came from. Or maybe Joy Boy is like, that's like his gamer tag from, like he's playing Xbox Live on, you know, in the ancient kingdom. And that was his gamer tag. And that's what everyone started calling him. Honestly, sign me up for that. That would actually be kind of sick. If that was his gamer tag. That would be hilarious. And he just like, and everyone just called him that, like there's probably a good amount of people who would call me Dak Sake if they met me in person. You know what I mean? Or like Dak is what people call me. So that probably isn't like even really the best example. But like if somebody called me Dak Sake, it's the same idea. Like maybe Joy Boy was, you know, was playing Call of Duty and then the void happened. And they pulled the plug, and he couldn't play Call of Duty anymore. So then he's like, "Well, I gotta go fix this," and that's how Joy Boy got so motivated. Like that. I don't know if that's really gonna be the origin story of the whole thing, but I kind of like the video game angle. I ain't gonna lie to you. Joy Boy was a streamer. Look, I feel like Oda's gonna do something wacky with Joy Boy. Like I don't know if it's gonna be as simple as Joy Boy was born in this kingdom and he wanted to be a pirate and he went out to the ocean and he got mad that there was a bunch of bad people doing things and that's where this all started. Like that, like there's got to be like an extra little funny layer to it because it's just, this is Oda we're talking about, right? So I kind of like the video game idea. I ain't gonna lie. I kind of like that one. That would be funny. That would be funny, but also fitting because like I said, with the technology situation, right? So I like it. I approve. Mr. Bushido with the €2. Robin and Jinbei teach Nami Fishman karate. I feel like Nami doesn't really need it. Like Nami with Zeus, Nami's been getting power up after power up, I feel like, you know, like getting Zeus after Whole Cake and then imbuing Zeus into the Climate Act. You know, like I feel like she's pretty good at this point, and she's not like a combat fighter. You know, so I don't know if Fishman Karate would really help her necessarily. Because it's not like she's going to be punching or hitting anything. Because, like, Robin, you know, she can spawn 1,000 hands or whatever. But I don't know about Nami. I feel like Nami, she's never going to be that kind of fighter. But, like, it could help to maybe understand some of the basics of Fishman Karate. Because if it is using the water droplets in the air, that's sort of like a weather-related thing, like the humidity or whatever you want to call it. So, like, I could see her... I don't think she would use Fishman Karate like we've seen it, but is there a way where she can utilize the same ideas to make her lightning stronger? That might be possible. Like, maybe she can concentrate more of the water in the atmosphere to a certain area and then electrocute it or something so it hurts somebody more or something like that. That I could see. But I don't think she would actually do, like, the karate part. And I know Fishman Karate is just the name of the whole fighting style, but I don't think she would actually do karate, but I think the other stuff maybe. Then John Stoops for $2. Do you think we will see Joy Boy in full before 2027? No, but we will see him in 2027. It won't be a 2028 thing. And the reason I say no, and I could be wrong, this isn't even, I don't have a whole lot of conviction behind this, but I would say no because we saw Emu this year. And I think Oda's going to want to spread out the reveals of the most important people that he has left, right? Like, you know, and I don't know, like, he could show him soon because maybe we get a little Emu flashback thing, and I could be completely wrong. But I feel like Oda would want to spread that out a little bit. Like, I don't think we have to get into the nitty-gritty of the Emu and Joy Boy flashback yet. You know, we're getting there, but we had the whole Rocks flashback this year. We had the Brook flashback. We met Emu. Like, we've had a lot of flashbacks and a big reveal. And even, like, seeing Brook when he was younger was kind of a reveal, too. So, so I would say not in 2027, but in 2027 for sure. I would guess. Because I'm thinking that we'll probably get past this, and maybe Emu will give us a few more Joy Boy hints like he has lately with some of these, like, mini flashback things. But I'm guessing that, you know, here in Elbaf, like, we'll get past this Emu situation before seeing Joy Boy, and we'll get through the rest of Elbaf and whatever. And then the next time we meet Emu, or he becomes relevant, or he makes a move, or he blows up an island or whatever, maybe that'll start taking us into a little bit of their flashback. Because, I mean, Oda's teasing it, you know? The Emu and Joy Boy relationship feels very, very interesting, you know? Like, it does feel antagonistic, but not, like, overly antagonistic yet, you know? Like, it's almost like there's more trauma here for Emu than anything, so yeah, I think next year. Next year, if I had to guess. By the way, shout out to everybody who subscribed during the stream. There's a good amount of you. I just want to give you all a shout out. I do see a lot of them over here on Streamlabs, so major shout out to you guys. Appreciate you. I think we are, we're like single digit or double digit maybe away from 109K. Let me see. Oh God, I just went to my YouTube studio and I had a little bit of a heart attack because there's like a notice at the top that was like, it was like, one of your videos has been removed from YouTube. And I'm like, oh my God, another one. But that was, I just never clicked the notification away from the last one, which the fact I've had 5 videos get struck by Shueisha is a problem in and of itself. But that one is not a new one. Thank God. I thought it was like my last one or something. I was going to be very upset. But yeah, we are 47 subscribers away from 109K. So that's awesome. Thank you guys. Mr. Bushido for €2. The Straw Hats can't deal with Moo. Carrot shows up to save the day. I mean, real talk, if Zunisha showed up to save the day, that might help. If Zunisha, I wonder how Emu would react to Zunisha, because Emu definitely knows about Zunisha, right? or like from the past at least. I would assume Zunisha knows that Zunisha's also been roaming the seas this whole time too. I would have to guess. But Zunisha, maybe. Carrot, I don't know. I don't know if she's gonna help a whole lot, but maybe she can help by bringing Zunisha there. That would be awesome. Because Zunisha would probably also be as tall as the Heaven Realm, so that could be how we finally get to see that too. So we'll see. ACOP CCTV for $5 just got here, and sorry it took me over 30 minutes to finally get to your super chat. I apologize. Just got here. Does Luffy's fruit take over like the Impel Down jailers? Also, I think the Majin was Oda showing how unserious Luffy was taking the fight. As far as Luffy's fruit taking him over, we talked about that a little bit earlier. But I think we've already passed that point, because it seems to be that like Luffy's awakened his fruit and is controlling it, kind of like Lucci was. And I think if he was going to lose control, that would have already happened. Like I think it's an either you do or either you do or you don't thing. Like either you can control it because you have the right will or whatever, or you can't. I don't think it's a situation where like later on it'll consume you or something. Like we haven't really seen that. It seems to be much more of a like when you awaken, you'll know either you become mindless or you're still good, and that's the end of it. But who knows? I mean, we haven't seen the full context. You know, I feel like there's a lot to learn about zones still. So I would say that's not going to happen. But that's not to say that it's impossible, you know, by any means. But I don't think based off what we know now, that would be likely. And then also about Luffy taking the fight unseriously. That's definitely how it felt when I saw it. Because it's like, is this even making you any stronger, Luffy? Like, really? Like, it, you know, is like being like you're just a bigger target. Like, I guess you have bigger muscles and stuff now, I suppose. But does that really make a difference, you know? So I don't know. I still don't know what to really take from the Majin thing. It's like so random, but it definitely does feel like Luffy wasn't taking it like too seriously, you know? Like he was like he thought he was going to win probably. You know, like he's a beast and he's going to eventually figure it out cuz he's so strong, but at the same time, I don't know, like maybe this is where Luffy is going to start taking things more seriously, you know? I mean, not that like he's not taking it seriously in some context, but not seriously enough, I guess, you know? Anihime with the $10 super chat. Thank you very much for all your super chats, Anihime. I appreciate you. Joy Boy just doesn't want to use his legal name because his parents probably disowned him for wanting to be unemployed and travel the world instead of studying or working like others in the Great Kingdom. Honestly, that could be kind of cool too. Like if Joy Boy was like, honestly, it could be like a Sabo situation too, right? Like maybe Oda's going to make Joy Boy all three of the brothers where they're, you know, we can already see the Luffy connections, but maybe they look like Ace a little bit. But then maybe they had the upbringing of Sabo, where they were born. Well, we already know that he was born into the bountiful ancient kingdom. That's actually already confirmed. And Joy Boy, but Sabo was born into royalty and stuff. And we also had the Sa-D Bo thing, or the Sad Boy thing, right? Joy Boy, Sad Boy. So maybe it's a similar thing where Joy Boy was born into nobility or to the top of the ancient kingdom or something, didn't like it, set out to sail and, you know, to go out and be a pirate or adventure, do whatever. And maybe that even led to a lot of the downfall that kind of happened in the Void Century. Like maybe him not being there to take the throne for the ancient kingdom was part of why it failed and stuff. I don't know. I kind of like that. I do. I kind of like your other idea more, where he was a gamer and Joy Boy was his gamer tag, because I think that's hilarious. But I genuinely do think the idea that Joy Boy is like a marriage of the original three brother idea, where There's a little bit of Luffy, a little bit of Ace, a little bit of Sabo, all roped into Joy Boy. That feels like a rock solid theory to me, personally. It could even be that Joy Boy was the son of a really powerful person, like Ace was the son of Roger, and like, you know, Oda could do this all sorts of different ways too. So that, I genuinely feel like that, if there was like a theory to hang your hat on about Joy Boy right now, I would say that one's it, that he's going to have a little bit of Sabo, a little bit of Ace, and a little bit of Luffy in him, I think. San Joy Boy for $5. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Majin reminds me of the hockey glasses, and I agree. I made that connection earlier, but I think you probably sent this before that, but I definitely agree. Feels like a hint that Luffy can do the same things Imu can. Maybe sentient attacks or something Luffy can do. Yeah, so about the hockey glasses, and I mean, we don't really know the full scope, and like Oda answered it in an SBS and just said like it's the imagination of Gear 5 or the full power of Gear 5 or something. Like he didn't give us like a great answer as to what that was about. But my sort of thought on it is just that like he's taking the steam, because I'm assuming it's steam, because in the anime they play a steam sound effect whenever he first goes into Gear 5. I'm guessing that he's just taking the steam out of his hair and shaping it into the glasses, but like rubberizing it. And so like it is like imagination. Like he can make whatever he wants, whatever he can think of, and because he can shape the steam into whatever. So it is imagination. But I think the grounding of it into reality is that it's the steam part of it. And again, this isn't confirmed or anything. That's just how I'm reading it, because Oda always does ground it into some sort of reality. Like yes, Luffy can probably make whatever he wants with his Gear 5 powers, but it's because he's manipulating, you know, a resource nearby. And so basically based off that idea, it's still very much, you know, using your imagination. It's just born from something else. So Imu, I think Imu's very much the same thing, but it's not steam. It's Maki or the Abyss or whatever this dark stuff is, right? Like he's able to use that to make whatever he wants, and whatever he's making can do whatever he wants, you know, because he's obviously mastered this ability. So I could definitely see a world where Luffy is able to do the same thing, but with, maybe it's not Maki, or maybe it is, which I think would be very cool, but maybe it's the same idea as the glasses where he's just using steam, but he's like, well, if Imu's making these living bullets that chase me around and blow up and all this, maybe I can do it. And maybe he just reaches into his hair and pulls out a little white orb thing that does the same thing. Like, that I could totally see happen. For sure. 100%. 100%. And I would say that even if it doesn't happen with, like, his steam or Gear 5 powers, whatever the logic is behind the glasses and stuff, him unlocking Maki would make a lot of sense. I just, if Maki is really like upper echelon conquerors or something, or it's tied to Haki in any way, I think Luffy should definitely figure it out. So yeah, I don't know. And before I read the rest of these, because I know I have another handful, Repo, you're next. I also just wanted to say one other idea that crossed my mind while I was thinking about this. You know, we were talking about how we get past this, right? Who's going to come save the day? Or the Straw Hat's going to jump in, which I do think they'll be a part of it. I'm going to throw out a wild card here. But could this be where Kaido and Big Mom return? And again, I don't know how it would happen or what all the rhyme and reason is behind it. But like, if Kaido and Big Mom pulled up and they were like recovered from their fight, I mean, they would be able to hold off Imu for a little bit. I'm not saying they would win, but if we're waiting for Kaido and Big Mom to come back at some point, and, you know, I've been pushing that they'll be here in Elbaf at some point, them just crashing down in the middle of all this sounds like the kind of mayhem that I would want, you know? So, like, I wouldn't rule it out. Because I can't see Elbaf ending without Big Mom coming back for sure. I cannot Can't imagine that happening. So her pulling up in the middle of this, and especially if like, and maybe it would tie in really well with the Shuri stuff, because I brought this up a couple videos ago. The video got removed by Shueisha, but it'll be back in a week because this is the song and dance I have to play with Shueisha now, but it'll be back. But I bring up how, you know, while like the Shuri thing was going on in Asperia, and while the Loki thing was going on in Elbaf, like, well, a little bit before that, but same time period in the world, you know, Big Mom was born, she was brought to Elbaf, all that crazy stuff happened, and like Mother Carmel, we found out she was evil and working for the government. Wouldn't surprise me if, you know, the Gods Knights and stuff, like, well, we know to a degree that the government's already behind Big Mom's suffering in her life because of Mother Carmel, but wouldn't surprise me if the government, you know, has, even before that, like, and maybe in Big Mom's original kingdom or something, they've probably been messing up Big Mom's life the whole time. And for Kaido, well, we know that he got sold from Vodka Kingdom because they wanted to join the government, right? Vodka Kingdom wanted to. So he also has been screwed by the government in his life. So I actually think it would make a lot of sense if they wanted to come here and ultimately learn what happened to get some revenge, right? So, yeah, not saying it's likely. I do think Big Mom showing up before Elbaf is over is very likely, but I don't know. Kaido and Big Mom pulling up here and learning a little bit about their past and stuff, I think that would be sick. And I'll also throw this out there. Not that this is like good theory logic, but I can't help but think about it. The next One Piece card game set, which hasn't had spoilers before or anything, but the next card game set that comes out is the Elbaf set, and we have not had the reveals of who like the big chase cards are in that set. But it seems that there's going to be a really big Mom card and a big Kaido card in that set. And it's been making me think, I don't know, is Oda giving them a little nod that, you know, in the Elbaf card game set, we got to hype up these guys because maybe they're going to be there later? You know, I'm not saying that's the case, but they are. We've gotten art of Kaido and Big Mom multiple times in relation to the Elbaf set, and I keep thinking that, like, maybe there's a reason for it. Hold on. Let me go ahead and ban someone from the chat here. Louis Arnault, you are hidden from the channel, buddy. Sucks that someone with a cool name had to be so rude, but yeah, you're hidden. So go ahead and keep chatting, but we won't hear from you anymore. All right, Rapo, super chat. It's funny how Luffy has meat in his turban. Oh yeah, I brought that up earlier as well too. But yeah, that's crazy. That like the little pin holding the turban together is a piece of meat. You know, like that's very appropriate, but like hilarious at the same time. You know what I mean? And we also had the cover of this chapter of Luffy eating the meat. You know what I mean? Which I think is very fitting. So, yeah, very cool. I mean, it's like, it makes sense, but it's also kind of random. But yeah, it's that is hilarious. Oh, B-Plot, don't worry. I actually like it when I get the chance to hide people from the channel. Usually you guys get to it before I do, but I actually like it when I get to. So it's totally okay. It's totally okay. I had to use my powers to banish someone to the Shadow Realm, you know. Let's see. I just did Rapo, I believe. Shout out Rapo. 319 Swagger with the $2 super chat. Joy Boy said, "Join my crew, Emu." Honestly, that'd be big time. That would act.
I don't know. I'm rereading their conversation again. I don't. Even if you look at like the panel from like a little while back where Emu is like walking up, and it's like we had like that one little panel flashback of those two. It feels like they were kind of like chummy with one another at one point, or at least Joy Boy thought chummily of Emu. You know what I mean? Joy Boy asking Emu to join his crew is actually a sick theory. I like that. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but I hope you're right. I feel like you might have been joking, but I think you might actually have been cooking. Let's see. Iman Pro with the $2 super chat. The phone call equals in the void there is breath. That's an interesting way of thinking about it, because it's like it is all dark, right? And it's almost like Emu is surprised that someone is talking to him, right? It is an interesting way of thinking about it. Like maybe this is after like the Void Century really kicked off. And like the void or the darkness has overcome the world. I don't really know what it looks like. I don't know if the world actually like became pitch black or anything like this, but after that started, like maybe Joy Boy called Emu and is like, "Hey, I'm still alive." And maybe that's part of why Emu has all this like PTSD, because it's like Joy Boy just wouldn't go away or something. Or another way to think about it too is like, what if this call happened like after Joy Boy died, Because like right after this little conversation happens at the beginning, then Emu's like, "Yes, Joy Boy is already dead." And it's like, well, what if this is like maybe Joy Boy, just like the hockey rope lasted after his death, did he like use hockey to like have a conversation or something? And so like he called him after, he's like, "Emu, I'm just letting you know I'll be back in 800 years or something, something like that. That'd be cool too. I don't know. I like that way of thinking about it though, Iman Pro. That is, because wasn't that at the very beginning of the mural? Or the mural, Second World mural. Wasn't that like the first line of it? Let me go back to that chapter. Yeah, it was the very first line of the Second World. So if you are a believer that the Second World is the Void Century, which I kind of think is the case, although I could maybe be convinced of a couple other things, but it could kind of be it. Like once the Void Century started, there was a breath, and maybe that's it. Like Emu thought he deleted everybody, but Joy Boy's like, "Nah, I'm still here." Something like that. I don't know. I like it. I like that idea. Caden Eli with the $5 super chat. I think it's too early, but imagine it's full lore dump time. Like Joy Boy's Will talking to or explaining everything to Luffy in the Void or Great Beyond. I mean, yeah, that's kind of what we were just talking about too, a little bit. As far as it being full lore dump time, like, I would say probably not, just because we've gotten so much. But then again, I don't know if that's even really good logic, because we just keep getting stuff, Like, I think Oda would want to save some of it, but maybe he's, I don't know, we got to end One Piece at some point, right? So maybe he is trying to hurry up and get some other big stuff done in the meantime. But as far as like Joy Boy's will, kind of like explaining everything to Luffy, remember, like, when Roger went to Laugh Tale, he said, like, "Oh, Joy Boy, like, I wish I lived in your time. This is a great tale." It's like, it's almost like he was talking to Joy Boy there, or like, almost as if he was responding to Joy Boy. And we still don't really know how the Roger Pirates got all of that information. because like Odin said, you know, we learned of the ancient weapons, the void century, the 100-year gap. Well, 100-year gap is the void century, but you know, all these different things, we learned about them. But how? Like, did you read a book? Did you listen to a recording? Was it a tone dial? You know, like what did you watch, like a movie on a projector screen? Like how did you get this information exactly? How was it conveyed to you? And maybe it is like Joy Boy, kind of like this conversation with Emu. Like, is there like a visage of Joy Boy of some kind that's like actively communicating this to people who show up? Like, I don't really know, you know? So yeah, I mean, Joy Boy being able to talk to people in the future is totally on the table. Like, again, maybe it is just a tone dial or whatever, but using like hockey to have like live conversations or something, I mean, that'd be a cool way to like illustrate to us that there's more possibility with hockey, you know, than we think, right? So I actually I like that, Caden. I think you might be cooking, honestly. John Stoops with the $5. Time skip incoming. This time the Straw Hats are together the whole time rather than separated. I don't know if they can jump this gap without another time skip. So the only way that I think a time skip makes sense is if the time dilation thing with Elbaf is true. Like if time moves slower in Elbaf than everywhere else. So like if a week in Elbaf is 3 weeks around the world, if that's true, then I could see it, because then it would be a time skip for like the world, but not necessarily us. Like maybe the crew can train for like a month or 2 months. And if it is like a 3x multiplier, then maybe they're gone for 6 months in the world and people think they like disappeared, and maybe, you know, a lot of other stuff happens. There's a lot of wars and there's more flooding and all this kind of stuff, but then maybe they come back, you know, and so it's a time skip to them, but it's not that much of a time skip to the crew. I think that is on the table. But as far as like a legit like 2-year time skip, or you know, like we actually sit here for years and train again, that I'm not so sure about. I feel like a month or something I can see. And like I said, it would feel like a time skip to the world if the time dilation is true, so that works. But I don't know, like there's so much going on, you know, like the flooding's already happening. They have the Mother Flame in York already. Blackbeard's about to get some ancient weapons probably. Like there's so much going on that I don't know if like I don't know how much time can really go by, and you know, without things getting really bad. So the other option is like we find a way to pause time, which like I don't think that's realistic at all. But I mean that's another possibility. We find a hyperbolic time chamber or something to go train in, you know. So I don't know how it happens, but I will say I think I agree with you that we need another focused training arc, right? Like we gotta get strong. Everyone's got to get stronger. And we talked about it earlier, but like I don't want the answer to just be more and more hockey. Like for Sanji, him getting Conqueror's Haki, that's cool. Or Zoro even learns Maki and gets, you know, a Black Blade, that's cool. But like the crew's just we got a lot of stuff to figure out. Like, because if the crew starts learning hockey, I mean, like, is 2 or 3 months for Chopper really going to get him anywhere in hockey? Like, probably not, you know, or for Usopp, probably not. I mean, maybe his observation can get a little bit better, but like, I know crew's got to get a little bit better, you know? I mean, Frankie just got an upgrade, to be fair. So I don't know, but I agree. We got to improve. The crew is not there yet. If Luffy's getting cooked this bad, the crew ain't there yet for sure. For sure. Adam L, you said Brook can freeze time. They train inside Loki's ice. Okay, now we're actually cooking. I actually like that. That Loki's ice somehow helps. Like, I don't know how, but the idea that like it is more time related, I do like that angle. So I don't know how that would work, but that could be a fun way to do it for sure. Let's see. JR Writer 203 with the $5 super chat. Emu saying how the view improved with the dead trees gives anti-forest god vibes. Hoping we see Emu's talking flame bullets get scared of Chopper. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because, like, I know what you mean by anti-forest god vibes, but you could almost say that it's the opposite too. Like it is forest god vibes because, like, you would think the forest god would give life, and I agree, that should be the case. But I could also see where, like, a forest god is able to take life from the forest if he wants to. You know what I mean? He can do either or. Because he also gave life to the trees whenever he showed up. Remember, like, the trees and houses were dancing and stuff. But now he's killing trees, so we've kind of seen both sides of the equation already. So, but yeah, I mean, I tend to believe that Chopper is the forest god more so anyway. And yeah, it would be kind of crazy if Chopper scares the Maki bullets or whatever they are, bombs. I don't know. Because if they are born from the same thing as Domi Reversi, then yeah, maybe Chopper can just, like, smack those things and they just fall to the ground and splatter like ink or something, you know? I really don't know. Like, because, like, I don't know if Chopper should be quite that OP, you know? Like, stopping Domi Reversi is one thing, which is already pretty OP. But if he can also stop the Maki stuff, that might be a little bit much. But yeah, I will say Emu affecting the tree at all definitely makes me think of the forest god in some way, you know? Like, that, it seems like Oda could be branching us over there, no pun intended, because we've already, obviously, Luffy being the sun god's been a big focus. We have Zaza as the rain god as a big focus. To me, it would make logical sense that we bring in the other gods somehow, and a tree dying feels like a forest god thing, or, like you said, anti-forest god thing, one or the other. A tree is being affected, so we're all thinking forest god. So hopefully it's soon, whatever it is, whether it's Emu, whether it's Chopper, whether it's neither of them. Hopefully it's soon, for sure. Account JN7XU with the $2 super chat. I wish I had, like, your display names, because I bet your display name is probably something else. But either way, account, I appreciate you. Who's more likely to save Luffy, Dragon or Shanks? Those are other two good options. You know, we brought up like Kaido and Big Mom popping in and just sort of stealing the show, but Dragon or Shanks are another two potential options. I would say between those two, this might be shocking, but Dragon, I would say, because obviously Shanks has a lot of ties to this island, and, you know, we're still waiting for him and Shanks to meet, so, like, you know, him showing up and helping and all that kind of makes perfect sense. But I think the fact that Shanks was already here and left right before we got here, that just tells me that Shanks ain't showing back up in Elbaf. And I could be wrong. I'm not, you know, taking that to the bank at all. Not putting any money on that bet. But that's just the feeling I get, is that Oda's kind of telling us, like, yes, Shanks is deeply tied to this island. He's been here, blah, blah, blah. But he left right before because, like, you know, like, Luffy's catching up to him, but it's not going to happen here. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting, you know? Like, Luffy's got to make it off of here, and then he'll meet Shanks after. That, and again, maybe I'm wrong, but that's the vibe I'm getting. So I would say Dragon actually makes more sense. Because if I assume that Luffy is going to pass out here because he's so hurt and stuff and he gets KO'd, well, I was going to say then Dragon showing up could make sense because it was kind of like what happened with Logtown, because, like, Luffy couldn't really see who it was, right? Because he had, like, his face pushed down, so Luffy never really got to see Dragon and stuff. But it would also, that same logic would work for Shanks really well, where, like, if Luffy passes out and then Shanks shows up and he helps then, because then Luffy doesn't get to see him, that also kind of works. So I guess that logic really works for both of them, but I feel like it's going to be Dragon, because we need some Dragon hype here. He brought up the Gods Knights and said whenever they move, things going to start going down. And just seeing Dragon and Emu face to face, fighting for a little bit, it's just, we need some Dragon hype. And I don't know. This isn't like the best logic, but the other thing too is like when we think about like end game opponents, like I don't think Shanks is really meant to fight Emu. Like maybe they'll have a little altercation and like they'll talk a little bit about how things went down, but it feels like Dragon should be the one who wants to fight Emu. Like Dragon, I also think should probably want to fight like Garling and stuff, but Shanks, obviously his big bad of the story is Blackbeard, right? And so if Shanks showed up, I don't think he would have like a serious fight to the death or anything, because I can't see Emu dying this early, but I also don't think Shanks would die to Emu. But then if Dragon showed up, and I don't think Dragon would die, but I just think that could be like a more serious fight sort of deal, you know, because that would be like, this is really who Dragon's probably wanted to take down his whole life, is this guy, right? So I would say Dragon, but I don't know if either of them are like super likely, but I like Dragon. I think that would be cooler for where we're at right now. But B plot, you said I think Dragon seems to be busy with Marijois. So we saw, I forget what chapter it was now. It was a while ago. Was it 1179 when Emu showed up? The only thing that like the revolutionaries are really doing with Marijois right now is like trying to starve them, which like Dragon isn't really actively a part of, because we heard that the Holy Land was in a sea of flames, but in chapter 1179 they didn't really talk about that much. They just keep bringing up the starvation thing, and so the vibe that I got from that was that whenever they say Marijois is in a sea of flames, it was actually the celestial dragons, because they're rioting, because they're hungry, because of the starvation thing, and not that like the revolutionaries are actually there or anything like that. At least that's how I'm reading it. I don't think that's necessarily confirmed, but that's the vibe I'm getting, is that everything in Marijois is just the celestial dragons because they're starving. So I think Dragon's like actually available pretty much. Like the whatever revolutionaries are, you know, destroying the food supply ships, they're busy, but I feel like Dragon's actually like available to go do whatever at the moment. But then how would he know that Emu's an Elbaf is the other question. Like how would he even know to show up? I mean, I'm sure Dragon has connections everywhere. I actually remember in the ASL flashback, I think, yeah, whenever Dragon shows up to Grey Terminal, Ivankov says like, wow, Dragon, I didn't know you had connections even all the way out here in the East Blue, which would tell me that Dragon has connections everywhere. So I guess that's how he would figure it out. But yeah, I don't know. I think both are exciting options. I still kind of like the Kaido or Big Mom idea more, to be honest, because the thing with Shanks and Dragon is that like they would probably show up to save Luffy, right? Like they would know that Luffy's in trouble and they would go just to protect him, which is a cool plot line, and I like that. But if Kaido or Big Mom showed up, or both, they wouldn't be showing up because they want to help Luffy. They'd be showing up because, well, they probably want to hurt him or get revenge. Although with Kaido and the Joy Boy stuff, I don't really know where his mind's at anymore. But they might show up and just get roped into this without even knowing, you know, what's going on. Like they would show up and see two of their enemies fighting. They're probably like, okay, we don't like Luffy, but who are you? And then once they find out he's the head of the world government, they're going to be like, well, we hate you too. You know, and so that's kind of why I like that better, is it's like they're like, they might already be on their way for other reasons, you know, that are like aside from this. So they're like a random person who joins, but Shanks and Dragon feel like they would only be coming back to help Luffy specifically. So I think all the options can work. They're all just, you know, a little bit of a different setup, but one way or the other, it feels to me like a big player has to show up. Whether it's Kaido or Big Mom returning, whether it's Shanks showing up, whether it's Dragon showing up, feels like we need one of the, you know, we need one of the big dogs to pull up for sure to save the day, I think. All right. going to try to hurry up and get through these. I've said this a few times, but I keep getting behind because now I'm 40 minutes behind again. I was getting caught up, and then I got behind again. So I'm going to hurry up for real this time. Mr. Bushido for the €5. I never thought of you having a name other than Dak. What is your real name? Plus mother maiden name, plus your first dog, social security. No, just curious. My real name is Dakota. So Dak is just the short version of Dakota. If you guys are football fans, Dak Prescott started being called Dak like a year after I did. So I was first, to be clear. All right, Dak Prescott stole the whole thing from me. But yeah, it's just a shortened version of Dakota, basically. When I went to college at Ohio State, just some of my roommates just started calling me that, and I was like, you know what? I like that. I don't like that Dakota is 3 syllables. I always thought that was too many. So they just started calling me Dak, and it stuck, and that's literally what I go by now is Dak. Like I introduce myself as Dak, so that's where that started. Alexander Fiorello with the $2. Thoughts on Louis Arnault being voiced by Brooks' voice actor? Is that true? Is that actually is that? I didn't know that. I feel like I should have, because these are like 2 of my favorite characters. Although Louis Arnault's like, I say favorite character, like he's not in the top 20, but for how much he's been in the story, like per chapter of relevancy, he's up there because he's awesome, even though he's barely been mentioned. Let's see. Yeah, they are not voiced by the same person. I just looked. Yeah, and Time Lord, you said they're extremely similar, but it's not Brooks. Yeah, it's because Louis Arnault in Japanese is Tomohisa Aso, and in English is Joel McDonald, and neither of those match for Brooks. Because his Japanese voice actor is Cho. I think I'm saying that right. And then his English voice actor is Ian Sinclair, the GOAT. And his live action portrayal, major shout out to this guy, Marshall T. Botchaman. I think I'm saying that right. Major shout out to that guy, for sure. Did a great job as Brooke in the live action. But yeah, I guess they're not the same. And honestly, I'm relieved because I feel like I should have known that. So I'm kind of glad that they're not the same. Time Lord with the $2. Emu flings Luffy up. He lands in the Heaven Realm. That'd be kind of crazy. I mean, we still have to go there, which is kind of insane that we've been in Elbaf for... Dude, there's no way this is true. Have we really been in Elbaf for over 60 chapters? We have. Oh my god. We've been in Elbaf for 62 chapters and we still haven't seen the Heaven Realm. Look. Maybe I'll have to eat my words later, but I remember when this arc started. And we and other creators as well, we're doing polls about like what like how long will this arc be? And I remember the consensus was definitely less than 100, and I was staunchly at greater than 100. And if we're at 62 and we have not even seen the Heaven Realm yet, and I mean, Luffy just lost, you know, like Luffy's gonna have to heal and come back and probably do that multiple times before we can get out of here. Like, and even then, like if we do kick Emu out, there's still probably some stuff we got to do here, you know, like some more lore to learn about, or, you know, I brought up Big Mom a bunch. I'm still like, I would be shocked isn't even the right word. Disappointed isn't the right word either. I would be in total disbelief if we did not get any Big Mom Mother Caramel stuff this arc as well. So this is easy over 100. Easy over 100. But anyway, yeah, Time Lord. We haven't been in the Heaven Realm yet, so I'm thinking I'd like to say it's going to be soon, but who knows? Genuinely, I'd like to say it's soon, but... And we still got to get my boy Yarouge into this arc somehow. I'm still a believer in that. Like, Yarouge could theoretically be later. You know, like, that's not like Big Mom and Mother Caramel coming full circle. That's damn near necessary to happen now. I mean, like, Yarouge could be later, but I still think he's in the Heaven Realm, and that's what Oda's waiting for, is to bring him in. So yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm ready for Luffy to go up there whenever Oda wants, though. Like, maybe Luffy gets flung up there, and Yaruj is praying for him next time we see him, because he's up there, too, you know? Kind of like he was praying for Kaido when Kaido jumped off of Balloon Terminal. I don't know. Sign me up. B-Plot, you said, plus the gaps in Brook flashback. I think we're getting a third flashback this arc. Yeah, if we had the Rocks flashback and then the Brook flashback, I feel like there's another flashback coming. If nothing else, it'll be another Big Mom and Mother Carmel thing to bring it full circle, where we see a little bit about Mother Carmel's beginnings and like how she got roped into the government and stuff. Maybe a little bit about that. But more importantly, we have to see what actually happened with Big Mom and the Elbaf kids. Because obviously we're led to believe that she ate them all. And I that's probably where I would put my money at and whatever. But there's two things with that. One, if that's actually what happened, Big Mom has to learn that happened. And so she has to like have a flashback, or like maybe the giant who saw it all happen, because remember, like Streusen saw it and one other giant saw it. Maybe we get a flashback from him about what actually happened. And so that's another flashback we gotta get so we can see the truth. But the other side to it is there is a chance that she didn't actually eat all of them. Okay. And I would put money on that she did, because that would be the darker thing and that would be crazy and, you know, just a cool plot line. But I don't want to take out the possibility that Mother Carmel did some crazy soul shenanigans and she actually killed all the kids and merged with Big Mom or something. So like, you know, maybe we're led to believe that. And so we thought Big Mom, you know, has been a monster, which she is a monster, but maybe Mother Carmel did something, you know, like, again, who knows, but we got to see it. And more importantly than us seeing it, Big Mom's got to see it. So that's another one I feel like that's definitely going to happen. For sure. Rishon, you said maybe Man Marked by Flames will show up. Like, for me, this doesn't feel like the time for that. Because, like, we're not even, like, in, like, is he going to come and protect Luffy? Like, I don't even know if the Man Marked by Flames is a good guy. You know what I mean? And, like, if he's sailing around on an all-black ship, it's just me, or maybe it's just me, but I feel like that tells us we're going to meet him at that ship. You know, like if the Man Marked by Flames came to an island that we were at and got off the ship and like walked over to us, to me, it sort of defeats the purpose of saying that this guy has an all black ship with whirlpools and stuff. It feels more like we would be sailing and come across him and have to figure out how to get past the whirlpools and get over to the ship and figure out who's there and stuff, right? Like, again, maybe that's just me, but that's, like, I don't think the Man Marked by Flames is coming to an island to talk to us or help us. I think we're destined to find him, but again, that might just be me. Killick, the Luminary, you said, have you started the chapter yet? Oh yeah, I'm well done with the chapter now. I'm trying to go through the super chats, but I've been going as slow as ever, I feel like. So yeah, I've read the chapter, so you can't spoil me or anything. You're good to ask whatever you want, for sure. All right, Alexander Fiorello with the $5 super chat. Do you think Emu's silhouette is a different form than normal? Yes, I do. Draining the forest is showing Emu equal forest god. Also, where does the name Gunko come from? As far as the silhouette thing, if you go back to like when he first showed up to Elbaf, it almost looked like he was like breaking out of a cocoon sort of thing. So I do think the silhouetted form looks different than this one. I don't know what the connection between them is necessarily. Because I would like to say that this form is Emu's real form, but we also saw in that one little mini flashback that Emu was like walking up to Joy Boy in that form, it looked like. So I'm not really sure exactly what's the real one, but I do think they're different because it looked like he was like a butterfly breaking out of the cocoon, you know? And you said draining the forest is showing Emu equal forest god. it's tough because like I do think that could be a hint towards it, but like Emu almost feels like he should exist outside of the paradigm of the four gods at this point. And I mean, I used to be a big Emu forest god believer, or maybe not like big, but somewhat. But now I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like he's like the four gods are like his enemies in a way, you know? At least that's the vibe that I'm getting, but I'm not 100% sure. And then where does the name Gunko come from? That's a good question. I mean, I don't know if doesn't it mean child soldier or something like that? I think someone said once. I want to say that's true. I remember somebody, like back when we first heard about Gunko, I think somebody said that. And so I think that's probably it. Like they gave her like just like a bland kind of military name, you know, instead of like, because they had to hide her old identity and stuff. So I think they named her just child soldier or, you know, something like that. So I think that's it. Like it's almost like she doesn't have a name in a way, I think. And then I saw in chat, you said, I mean, Earth God, not Forest God. In that case, I would still kind of say the same thing where it's starting to feel like Emu should be outside of the paradigm of it. But for the Earth God, I think is the most interesting one because he was mentioned in the first world. And the Earth God was clearly not a good guy, at least I would argue, right? Because, like, it seemed like he was the one who was in charge of the enslaved, right? Let me go read what this said. Yeah, so, like, the Earth God was enraged and with the Serpent of Hellfire cast the world into ruin. So it's like the Earth God got angry that the Sun God appeared. So it's like, it's telling us that the Earth God seemed like he wasn't a very good guy. So it could be Emu based off that logic. However, I think you could also twist that logic the other way and say that kind of depends on when the first world was, but you could also look at it like the Earth God was the leader of the ancient kingdom back then. And so Emu was conspiring with the other kings to take down the Earth God, which I think also makes a lot of sense. Like maybe the Earth God was like a past version of Blackbeard, maybe being Davy Jones or something like that, and they led the ancient kingdom and had all these slaves and all that, and then Emu was fighting against that to take down the ancient kingdom, and so was Joy Boy probably, and that's the story, you know? So I would say out of the gods right now, I could see Earth God probably the easiest for Emu, or Forest, one of the two, but I still kind of lean towards him not being any of the gods, and the gods just being completely outside of his paradigm. Like he's just the devil, you know. But yeah, I mean, Earth God was definitely evil, so you know, it kind of makes sense for that reason. Paloon Blackhat, you said, I thought Gunko meant like war drums or war child. I know it meant something military related, so I definitely think that's where Gunko's name is originating. It's almost like not a real name, you know. At least that's what I'm thinking. Okay, I see I'm an hour behind now. Growth Stonks, member for 31 months. Glad to be here for another peak chapter. Elbaf greater than Wano. The gap keeps increasing every week for sure. Or even if you're not a believer that Elbaf is greater than Wano or will be greater than Wano, it feels like we're inching closer at least every week. You know what I mean? Like Elbaf keeps rising in the rankings every single week for sure. Yeah, it's crazy. And like I said, we're 62 chapters in, which is a lot, but it feels like we have a lot left too. So excited to see where everything goes for sure. Caden Eli with the $5. Updating previous message to an official prediction. Let me go back actually before I read this new one. Let me go read your old one. You said, I think it's too early, but imagine it's full lore dump time. Like Joy Boy's Will talking to her, explaining everything to Luffy in the Void or Great Beyond. Okay, now let me see what your new one is. Luffy is KO'd and stays unconscious for a while, so we can end the arc with the lore dump convo. See, I like the idea that Luffy is KO'd, and while he's unconscious, we have this conversation, but I don't know if that would be where the end of the arc is, because it doesn't feel like we're at the end of the arc stage at all, at least to me. It feels like we are right in the center, or like in an act, like maybe reaching the end of Act 2 equivalent or something is kind of how it feels to me. But Luffy getting KO'd and being unconscious and like Imu like drifting into a flashback, like when he sees like Luffy's like bloody body on the ground, and maybe that pulls him back to like Joy Boy's death, and maybe we get that little bit of info that I could see. But I can't see the arc ending with this, with Luffy even being passed out. Although, I mean, like maybe Luffy never recovers and we just got to get him off the island or something. Like maybe that's it. But feels a lot more likely that we'd have to just kick Imu off, because like Imu, I mean, for Imu not to kill Luffy given the situation, that would be kind of crazy, right? Like we're gonna have to stop Imu from doing it. So yeah, I think I'm leaning a little more towards that we would get a flashback, but it wouldn't be the end. You know what I mean? Yeah, honestly, the more I think about it, like if Luffy's body just drops to the ground and is bleeding, we probably will get at least 1 or 2 pages like the beginning of this chapter, right? Where Imu calls back to like some traumatic thing between him and Joy Boy. That does make a lot of sense, at least. Even if it's not the end of the arc, I think that makes a lot of sense. We get some kind of lore dump between him and Joy Boy. I think that makes sense. Adam L for $5. Usopp successfully defends injured Luffy with Ragnir. Ragnir then takes hero Usopp to the Heaven Realm to get the true treasure of Elbaf, the Eagle God fruit. I've never heard any theories about an Eagle God fruit. What is there any? Is there like some Norse lore behind this or something? I've never even heard about this at all. I also don't think Usopp will get a fruit at this point, but giving the Kabuto a fruit could be very cool. But I do like the idea at this point that Ragnir can work with Usopp, because I brought this up a bunch of times, but like Ragnir can't join Usopp unless Loki is out of commission, and Loki seems to be out of commission. I don't think Loki's going anywhere anytime soon. And now that Jinbei is protecting Loki, that even opens the door even more to Ragnir leaving, because he doesn't even have to stay with Loki. He can actually leave and go do some other things, because Loki will be taken care of. So I think the odds of that actually went up this chapter quite a bit. It feels like that's where this should probably go next. BZ6 with the $5. Imu wasn't even phased by Gear 5's power. Maybe Luffy hasn't reached full freedom mode. Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of tough because, like he's already awakened the fruit, so maybe there's some applications of it that he can figure out, but I don't know if there's, like, necessarily a whole host of, like, extra powers that he should get. Like, we haven't really seen that before, where, like, once you get to your awakened zone form, that's sort of it. But we've only seen it a few times, so it's not like it's all set in stone or anything. But I don't know if there really is like another layer to Gear 5 other than, like he just did this genie mode. Like maybe he can tap in the different forms. So I don't know if there's like another level of Gear 5 necessarily, but like Maki or Haki or whatever, that seems more so where this is going, or at least that like Luffy's got to figure out like the trick or weakness to it, Man, I really don't know, because like, Gear 5 was built up so much, and like we know how important the fruit is, and Joy Boy used to have it and stuff, and so it is kind of interesting that he's in this form and like it really doesn't even affect Emu. But then again, I do think Joy Boy's hockey is several tiers above Luffy's at this juncture. You know, you look at the hockey rope, right? Like that, Luffy's got to be at least that level, and he's not. So I don't know. Like I said earlier, I hope it's not just hockey, but it does kind of feel like, at least for Luffy, that's probably what it's gonna be. So I don't know. I think that was Beezy, right? Yep, Beezy. Thank you again, Beezy. Cloud Lizard with the $5. Stopping by to say peak chapter. I'll rewatch the stream later. We have to take a look at Majins, Ifrits, and Devils as potential races in the past. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's a really good point. Like maybe these were actual races back then. Because these are like types of like demons or devils, right? Like Ifrit is definitely a demon. And I mean a devil, obviously, like Emu might be an example of one, whatever race he is. But even Majins, yeah, like maybe these, like we did have all these kind of special races back then. I mean, if Lunarians can exist, who have these black wings and can like use fire and survive in all sorts of harsh conditions or whatever, who knows how many races there could have been in One Piece back then? You know what I mean? And the Lunarians are almost wiped out. So it's like, we know the government tries to, you know, eradicate these different races, tries to make them go extinct, genocide, whatever the right term is. And if they went after like the devil races in particular, which like, hey, if you look at Lunarians, they're pretty close to devils. You know what I mean? Like black wings, using fire, can survive in really harsh conditions, which they could probably survive in hell or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how it feels. More devil races would make sense. Like maybe the government's been trying to eliminate them in particular the whole time. And you, Iman Pro, I saw you just put this in the chat. And I saw a couple other people earlier put it too. Honestly, it might have been you. And I didn't get to mention it, but Majin Buu is a stretchy gum man. Yeah, that definitely feels like partially intentional, like somewhat, because it's like I don't know, is that why Oda chose a Majin in particular, like have him be a genie so it ties back to Majin Buu? I don't know, but yeah, Majin Buu is a stretchy, you know, gummy character, and now we have a Majin Luffy, so that, you know, going back to the whoever's theory it was about us getting like a monkey tail version of Luffy, like the King Kong Super Saiyan thing, whatever that form is called. You know, I mean, hey, that'd be kind of sick. Maybe Oda is doing some Dragon Ball references just because, you know, I think that'd be kind of cool. Iman Pro, you said Buggy, the lost prince of the Majin race. Luffy did have like a red nose, didn't he? Hey, hold on. Luffy did have a red nose in this chapter. You see, the nose is colored in. He has a big, probably, I'm assuming red, probably big red nose in this chapter. You might be cooking with that, dude. You might actually be cooking with Buggy being the lost prince of the Majin race. I don't know if that was just a throwaway, but you might actually be cooking, Iman Pro. That's crazy, actually. I don't know if it's going to end up being true, but I'm glad you brought that up. So if it ends up being true, we can call back to this moment, because that is crazy. B plot, you said I should look at the Discord chat after this. I certainly will. I'm actually gonna once this is over, I'm gonna go to Taco Bell, because I forget what the new items are, but I saw they had some new stuff and I wanted to go get something, because I also just, who doesn't like Taco Bell, you know? But once I come back, I'm definitely going to take a look. You guys are probably cooking, dude. Buggy being related to the Majin race is there some other genie lore with Buggy of some kind? Like, is there... I'm trying to think. Like, I can't really... There's nothing that comes to mind that really ties Buggy to, like, genies. I mean, I guess he can float and stuff, but that's not even really... I don't know if that's really a good enough connection. Nico Vento, you said the Enchirito is back. I don't know if I've ever had an Enchirito, to be honest with you. Iman, you said Buggy does dress in Arabian-esque pants and shoes, I guess. Yeah, I guess you could try to reason that. I don't know. I love the theory no matter what, man. I love the theory. I'm kind of blown away by it, honestly. I actually think that's a crazy theory. Crazy in a good way. Mr. Bushido, with the two euro super chat, would be a good time for Shiki to show up. That's another guy. We talked about Kaido. We talked about Big Mom. We talked about Shanks. We talked about Dragon. Shiki's another one. Like it's another wild card where similar to Kaido and Big Mom, he could have a whole other agenda with showing up to where whenever he gets here, he's just like, wait, this demon guy is here? What the hell? Okay. And then he kind of jumps into the mess and helps us, like, indirectly. Like, I don't think Shiki's going to show up like, oh, we got to save Luffy and save everyone. Like, I don't think Shiki cares at all. But he might show up trying to do another plan, and by a byproduct of what he's doing helps the Straw Hats survive, you know? It's kind of like with Kaido and Big Mom, where, like, I think they would show up probably wanting to come after Luffy, but then once they see what's going on, and especially if Luffy's, like, KO'd like this now, they might be mad at Imu because they're like, "Oh, we wanted to defeat him, but you did. Now we're mad at you," or something. You know, something be like a little gag thing. But then they would probably figure out that this guy's like their actual biggest enemy or whatever, right? But yeah, Shiki's another good one. I think Shiki could also be there. Like, I think no matter what, one of these big characters has to show up. Like, the crew jumping in to help Luffy, that's going to happen too. But I don't know if they can do it for a long time to where Luffy recovers and gets back in the fight. You know, like, they might be able to do it for like a chapter, but we got to get someone else to come in and help out. Unless they can cure Loki somehow and like heal him up quickly. Like, I don't know how any of that would happen, but yeah, Shiki is another good one. Maybe it's all the former Rocks pirates. Like, maybe Big Mom, Kaido, and Shiki pull up all at the same time, but separately or something. I don't know. Whatever it is, I think something crazy is going to happen to get us out of here for sure. Then Anahime with the $5 super chat. Thank you very much, everyone, for all your donations, by the way, because I think I'm finally getting caught up here. So sorry for taking so long, but thank you for your patience, and thank you for your donations. You said maybe Luffy falls unconscious and his devil fruit shows him Joy Boy's memories as sort of a trigger to his vitality dropping due to his injuries. I do think that, like, if there is any merit to the whole idea that, like, fruits hold the memories or will of the past users, this would be a really good moment for that to come to fruition, right? Like, remember when Sabo ate the Maramara no Mi and he said, like, Ace, he told I think it was Burgess, like, Ace says he doesn't forgive you. Like, you know, you could always look at that as just a cool little throwaway thing from Sabo, and that's probably what it was, you know, just because he wants to shout out his boy and get back at the people that hurt his boy and all that. But you could also look at it like maybe Sabo can actually, like, maybe he's not having a conversation with Ace, but he can at least, like, understand what the will is imparting on him. You know what I mean? Like, he can understand it. And that would just, and if that is true, and again, maybe it's not, but if that is true, that there's a little bit of the past users in there, I mean, this is like a top tier moment to reveal that, right? Like, where Luffy's about to die, he's like fading into nothingness or whatever, and then Joy Boy comes through and it's like, oh, I remember when this happened to me once. But I got up. I don't know what he would say, but he would definitely like speak to Luffy a little bit and tell him like you can still do this, or I don't know what he like. Luffy is not going to need like that kind of motivation. I don't know what Joy Boy would say, because Luffy obviously is like already believing in himself or whatever, but I don't know. Maybe Joy Boy could say something like something about protecting the crew. Like I don't know if Joy Boy would say, oh, like, if you don't get up now, your whole crew's gonna die. But, like, that sort of vibe would probably be what motivates Luffy. Or maybe Joy Boy can impart some memories on, like, you know, when this happened to me, I couldn't get up, and my whole crew died. Or, well, I guess, really, Joy Boy's crew seems to have survived, because, like, Zunisha and Emeth made it. But, I don't know. Some kind of little callback to motivate Luffy. I don't know exactly what it would be, but I think this would be a really good time for it, for sure. For sure. Also, Tiny Angry Gnome, I saw you. I don't know what the context was, but you said Urouge will show up, which sign me up. I mean, I love Urouge. All right, listen. Do I have it with me? Hold on. I don't think I have it up here. I've been buying a lot of Urouge cards, which this is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form, because I don't know what I forget what the legality is, but this is not legal advice, just to protect myself. But if you are a TCG card investor or wannabe investor, I think Urouge is one of the best cards to invest in, because he is almost worthless. Nobody likes Urouge in the card game, man. Urouge has some of the cheapest cards in the whole card game for some reason. They're all dissing my boy Urouge. And so I've been buying, not like a ton, but I've been buying some of his cheaper, like, cooler cards, because I've been thinking, like, well, I want him anyway, because I like Urouge, because that's my boy. But I've also been thinking, like, y'all, like, when Urouge actually shows up and balls out in the story, his cards are going to double overnight, because he's the cheapest one. I think Urouge is the single cheapest SP in the entire card game, which is bananas. Like, SPs are, like, the second lowest hit in the box. So, like, a manga rare is the top hit, right? The second rarest is the SP, the special alternate art. These are usually, like, over $100. The Urouge SP is, like, $30, which is just, it makes no sense. And he's, like, the cheapest one ever, like I said. So, anyway, it's not financial advice, but if you did want to go buy some cards with the hopes that they're going to go up, I would go get Urouge cards right now. Because it makes no sense that his SP is $30. I bought one off eBay recently for $28. It makes no sense. Anyway, I had to share that with you guys. So, yeah, TCG, the prices have gone crazy lately, but I think a lot of them still have some room to grow, like my boy Urouge for sure. But Nick Ilvento, you said, I'm investing heavy in smoker cards. Are you actually, or is that just some smoker hype? Like, have you actually bought some smoker cards, or is that just because he's your boy? Because I know that's your favorite character, right? I mean, I know he's your picture, and that's what you told me that he was one of your favorites. But I do like buying cards for the characters I like, because even if the prices tank and I get cooked, hey, at least I got cards for someone I liked, you know? I can't be too upset looking at my stack of Urouges. Annie Hime, I'll buy those cards if Urouge stocks are going to go up, because lately it's been stagnant. And that's the thing, right? Like, Urouge... And I don't even know, really, if your involvement in the manga is, like, a direct connection to how expensive your cards are, to be honest, but I do think it's kind of crazy that he's, like, the cheapest. Like, I was looking at these offline tournament cards. Like, there was, like, these, I don't know, it was, like, in 2024, they did these, like, different tournament things. And they have a bunch of different characters that are all the same rarity of card. Like, they all have the same stamp. Because, like, if you participated in this tournament, you would get a pack. And the pack had, like, 10 potential cards in it, right? Urouge is the cheapest one from that tournament, the ones above him are like Mino Rhinoceros, like one of the Jailer Beasts of Impel Down is more expensive than Yarouge. Oh my god, I can't remember them all off the top of my head. Now I gotta look it up because it's killing me now. But Yarouge was the cheapest, and he was below some characters that have no business being above him. I'm telling you. Not that page. Where was it? Where are you at, Yarouge? That's not the right one. I can't find it. But yeah, whatever type of card it was, okay, here it is. I found it. So the only one below him is Scratchman Apu. Above him is Audio. Does anyone even know who Audio is? ADIO. ADO? I don't know how to pronounce it. But he's from Odyssey. He's not even a canon character. He's more expensive than Yarouge. Branu is more expensive than Yarouge. Mino Rhinoceros is more expensive than Yarouge. Spandine is more expensive than Yarouge. Neko Mamushi, Chiffon, sorry. You know, anyway, none of those people make any sense to be above Yarouge in terms of price if it's the same rarity of card, you know? So I think whenever he becomes relevant, that he can't be the cheapest whenever that happens. I don't know if he'll be the most expensive, but if he shows up and has a big moment, I can't foresee him staying at that card's like $3. It's a tournament specific card. It's stamped from the tournament and it's like $3. Makes no sense. And by the way, my chat just froze, but hopefully I'll get back to you guys in a second. But yeah, I've been debating doing, I probably wouldn't do it on this channel, but I've been debating doing like a top 5 cards to invest in type video or something, which, like, I don't know. I always feel weird about that because if I go and talk up a card that I've already bought a bunch of, then it'll feel like I'm just like pumping and dumping it, you know? But if I talk up a card that I haven't bought, then it's like, how serious am I about the recommendation if I'm not putting my money in the things that I'm telling you guys about? So I don't know. It's probably something that most people aren't even really worried about, but that's what I always think about, is I don't want to come off as like, you know, taking advantage of anyone, but I am big in the card, the TCG space now, so maybe I should do a video like that. I don't know. Anihime, the Jailer Beast, I'm crying. Poor Yarouge. Yeah. Mino Rhinoceros is more expensive than Yarouge from the same tournament. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Lucky Beetle, you said I thought you're a dog person. I am a dog. Wait, what did I say that made me think I wasn't a dog person? Because I am. Well, if I have to choose, if I could only be one, I'm probably more of a cat person, but I am also a dog person. Ralph, Cliff, well, they're asleep. They're both my dogs are surrounding my computer chair as we speak, and they did not want to get up at all because it's hot. So, not gonna bother them. But yeah, they're right next to me. Yeah, I got a lot of pets now, Lucky Beetle. I got 2 dogs and 4 cats, which it's a lot of animals. I find these cats on the street, man, and they need some help, and I'm like, ain't no one else gonna take them, and then I take them, and then I got more cats. But you know, do I still have the? Yeah, like there's Francine. I showed her last week. She's doing great, by the way. The dogs, Cliff likes her. Ralph is a little iffy because Francine loves the dogs. As a matter of fact, when Francine first met the dogs for the very first time, she was not fazed at all, and she just walked right between them, almost like it was Luffy walking between Kaido and Big Mom on the rooftop, you know. And I was like, I was just like, you have no survival instincts, you know, like you are a 3-pound kitten and you're walking between like these 60-pound dogs, you know, that not that my dogs would ever hurt her, but it's like they could in one chomp cook you, and you're just And she tries fighting with them, like play fighting, but she'll just jump on them and start biting and clawing them because she doesn't really understand manners yet. But yeah, she's cute. She's a cutie for sure. She's still quarantined in my bedroom right now because I can't. She's too young. She's about 7, almost 8 weeks, and she has to be a little bit older before I can do all the tests I need to on her before she can hang out with my other cats. But she can hang out with the dogs for now, for sure. Lucky Beetle, you also said do a Yu-Gi-Oh video. I honestly know nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. That I don't even know what I would say. The only type of Yu-Gi-Oh video I would consider doing is one about like grading Yu-Gi-Oh cards or something, because I've graded one Yu-Gi-Oh card in my entire life. And it was the Winged Dragon of Ra from the Game Boy, because one of my buddies sold me his Yu-Gi-Oh collection, and I gave him a fair price for it and everything. But I didn't think any of the cards would be like in great condition because he just had them in a tin, unsleeved and stuff. But I looked at his Winged Dragon of Ra and I'm like, you know what, man? That looks clean. Let me send it in. And it got a 10. And that paid for the whole collection. But other than that, I would I know nothing about Yu-Gi-Oh. I sold a Yata Garasu like 2 months ago. That was also from the same collection. But I'm more of a Slifer guy than a Winged Dragon of Ra guy, so I definitely sold that Winged Dragon of Ra quickly, but I kind of regret selling his Slifer. I did sell that and I wish I kept it. Also, earlier, whenever I mentioned audio from Odyssey, Adam L, you said more like adios. Am I right? You are exactly right. And that goes for all of the Odyssey characters, by the way. Lim, all my homies hate Lim. Let me tell you, if you guys don't know who Lim is, you're lucky. You don't need to know who Lim is, because I think most people's interaction with Lim is getting like a disappointing card from a set. So like here, you know what? Can I even show you guys? Maybe this will work. Hold on. I was gonna just like pull up the web page, but you know what? I can probably. I gotta make sure I'm doing this right. Hold on. Okay, I think this will work. Like this. All right, close enough. And we will do Pirate King Run and the Wordle here in a little bit. I know I almost forgot, but I kind of like doing that at the end of the streams. It's like a little tradition. But first, let me show you guys this. Let me put you guys on game a little bit real quick. Actually, there we go. All right, I'm not going to resize that. That price, actually, it does matter. Maybe this will work better. Nope. I'm going to move the chat box down to here. Maybe like over here. There we go. Because what you need to see, or actually, I don't know. Will that work? Okay, I'm going to move it down to the right next to me. That'll work better. And if you guys are, and by the way, if you're in here and you are completely disinterested in this, I'm not going to be on this very long. We will get to Pirate King Run shortly, but I just want to show you guys this real quick, just to show you guys exactly how horrible the Yarouge hate is. So Lim, okay, from One Piece Odyssey. Most of you probably don't even know who Lim is. So this is the SP of Lim. So again, this is like one of the top tier rarities or whatever. The lowest one is $37.99 or $35 with 5 shipping. It's like $40 or $39 including shipping, right? So remember that Lim, the Lim SP is about $39, $38. The Yarouge SP, well, okay, this one's exactly 39, but so it's gone up a little bit, but the Yarouge SP is the same amount of money. How? Like, and no, neither of these cards are like especially playable or anything either. Like, that has nothing to do with this. Neither of them, I don't think, are any good or used in any popular decks. How is this the same price as this. And I don't know. Maybe this isn't even like relevant. Like maybe I shouldn't even really be thinking about this. Like I don't know, but it makes no sense to me that like how are they the same price? And then like if you go to like the other ones, rarity, I'll just do it this way. So if you go to like down here, see like look how far down I have to go. So Urouge SP here at $30. Who's cheaper? Is there any SP that's below him? There's not. There's not a single SP below Urouge. Urouge is right now the cheapest SP in the whole card game. Because that's not an SP, but then Lim's right above him. And look, hey, I love Ezo and everything. This art is actually kind of fire, I'm not going to lie. But like, should Ezo be more than Urouge? Probably not. Queen, Isho, Okiku, Gecko Moria, like those aren't as bad. But Lim? I don't know. I don't think so. Buy low, Dak. Adam, I already got like 6 of those Urouges, all right? And I have like 2 and a 10 as well. I bought them graded because graded as a 10, they're like under $100 or like right at $100. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why they hate Urouge so much, but I think the real reason why Urouge is worth nothing is because he has been so irrelevant to the story that nobody's even thinking of him. But actually, let me show you guys one thing real quick. I didn't really highlight this, but okay. Well, now of course I got to move the chat back again, but this will just be a second. Did you guys recognize what's going on in this card for Urouge? Can you tell what is happening? Well, will this zoom in? Okay, cool. I can make it bigger then. Well, in that case, let me just go over here and let me do this. Okay, and now, so do you guys know what Urouge's hobbies are? Drinking sake and making love. And here he is having a banquet with a bunch of baddies. You know, and that the context of this card is that he's doing his hobbies. And he's also eating a roasted pig, which, you know, we love that for the anti-Topman agenda. But then you also have these balloons in the background for Balloon Terminal, like it's just awesome. But yeah, it's highlighting ones that he'd be relevant for. It didn't used to do that. I don't like that. I don't want the help. Hold on. I mean, I kind of want to put him at Cook for the memes. I wasn't like, all the fake Straw Hats count towards their real Straw Hat plays. They've improved this, by the way. This is like way better. Like the way that this is, they've definitely improved this. Nami can definitely be Navigator. Plume Black Cat, you said, is Urouge living your fantasy? Nah, Urouge is living my reality. That's that's what's happening. We're cut from the same cloth. Shiryu. I'm gonna hope I get a better first mate. This is an immediate skip. I honestly didn't know that Sanji's fake Straw Hat counterpart was named Drip. That's kind of all. Ginny can be the doctor? All right, bet. I don't like that they're telling me. I want to base it off my own info. Maybe there's like a setting I can change. Oh, God. Oh, man. I gotta save a pass. I gotta save at least one. Got to. Okay, Kobe, that's captain. High-ranking Marines with Conquerors are like some of the best captains other than like legit pirate captains, so that's actually good. Oh, needed an archaeologist. We're cooking. I need like a couple real heavy hitters here. Well, I am a Perospero fan, but I don't know if he's going to cut it. I need like Roger or something if I'm going to... Okay, Mont d'Or ain't going to cut it, I can tell you that. Ain't going to be Mont d'Or. All right, Law. Hey, you know what? I feel like I didn't get very good spins, but 59. I'm cool with 59. That's not bad. Kobe making it to the new world. That ain't bad. I just needed one more heavy hitter, I think. Like if I didn't get Doc Q and I got like Garp or something. I mean, obviously Garp would help, but not bad. All right, let's go do the other Wordle game. All right, I need some suggestions. I'm looking for somebody between Skypiea and Dressrosa. Someone from the middle of the story. Sabodi, Return to Sabodi, Amazon Lily. Even Fishman Island wouldn't be bad. Adam L, he said Scratchman Apu. I like that one. We'll do Scratchman Apu. Oh, God, it didn't help at all. Oh, God. I mean, I guess, like, technically it helped, but, oh, man, I got nothing. Okay, well, we know it's a male. Not a long limb. He's younger than 31. Shorter than 256 centimeters. Not born in the Grand Line. Below 350 million berry bounty. Not a paramecia. Something other than just armament and observation. Not in the Beast Pirates. Not a musician. Met him before the Summit War. Oh, man. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. So we met him before the Summit War. So pre-time skip, essentially. Lower than 350. I think Enel is older than 31, right? Definitely, because he's around Yarouge's age, and Yarouge is like late 30s or something. So Enel is older than 31. Kobe. I mean, yeah, Kobe technically works. Ace. Hogback. Man, it's kind of tough. Lucky Beetle, he said Enel is the same age as Shanks and Buggy, all 39. That's right. I need to remember that because in one of my videos I brought up how maybe Enel was born from the same circumstances as Shanks. Like maybe one of Enel's parents is a God's Knight that visited Burka one time or whatever, which I still love that theory. What was Ace's bounty when he died? At least 100 million, I think it said. I mean, Ace kind of works is the answer, doesn't it? Chopper. Chopper is born in the Grand Line. I think I'm gonna go Ace. Portgas the Ace. Wasn't in the Beast Pirates, not a musician, met before Summit War. Actually, no, because I think he has armament and observation. I don't think he has Conquerors, right? So I think he actually would check that box off. So actually, I don't think it's him. Ace's bounty was 550 million. I'm looking at the wiki and Oh, okay, never mind. The first one was at least 100 million, and then it was 550. Well, that's not even from the canon. I would assume that this website is taking it would just take it from the wiki or something, but the 550 million berry bounty thing for Ace is actually from the One Piece exhibition, fully known as the Ichiro Oda supervised One Piece exhibition, One Piece of Original Art X Video X Experience, also referred to as One Piece 10. So it's it's probably canon because like Oda's tied to it and stuff, but it's not actually from the manga, which is interesting. I never knew that. It's from like a public event where they revealed his bounty there. That's crazy. That is crazy. Because in the canon, all we've seen is that it was at least 100 million, I believe. Or no, actually, that was in the Ace novel. We've never even had his bounty actually touched on. From what I'm reading on the wiki. Or at least the initial reveals of it were in other places. Cricket, he's North Blue, right? I think Cricket's too old, right? Yeah, Cricket's in his 40s. He is from the North Blue, though. You're right. He is from the North Blue, but he's too old. So it seems like the age is really what I got to be thinking. Age and hockey in Devil Fruit. Well, not really Devil Fruit, but age, and he has... Because I feel like armament and observation's like the base package for a lot of like stronger characters, you know? So he's younger and he either has conquerors or isn't a hockey guy. Paulie, Kurosa said. Paulie. I think he's from Water 7, right? So he was born in the Grand Line. Yeah, he's from Water 7. Sabo. Does Sabo have confirmed conquerors? I feel like he definitely does have it. I don't know if it's confirmed, though. Yeah, I don't think it's confirmed. No, it's not. So Sabo's probably not under conquerors on here. Rojal, you said put in Kobe and see how many checks you get. Yeah, I tried to get it in as few guesses as possible because that would definitely be the strategy to go if I was like 100% stumped. But I want to get it in 2 guesses if I can, which we have done before. The first time we did it, we got it. All right, let me think. I keep looking at the chat. I need to use my own brain for a second. All right. So pre-time skip, we were introduced to this person. They are young, pretty young, under 31. Not born in the Grand Line. So there's a really good chance, not guaranteed, but good chance we would have met them in the East Blue because everyone there, or a lot of them would not have been probably were just born there and didn't like migrate there. And then less than 350 million. Yeah, I mean, does Kobe's... I don't think Kobe's cross guild bounty counts, right? I don't think so. So I might just try Kobe. Oh, Gaimon? Say less. Say less. How did I not think of my boy? All right. Oh, sorry. I'm blocking some of it. Let me go ahead and fix this. Here. You know what? I'm gonna space it right in the middle, and you know what? We're only gonna need one more guess anyway, right? So I won't have to move everything. So we know they are a human. So Gaimon's older than 31. I should have realized that, but you know what? I don't care. I don't care because it's my boy Gaimon. So Kobe would have been wrong anyway, so I wouldn't have got it. So that's fine. Because it says they're not from the East Blue, so it's not Kobe. Let's see. So between these heights, younger than 31, they are a human. Met between the East Blue and Summit War. No hockey, no devil fruit. No hockey, no devil fruit. They do have a bounty. I have a guess. I just don't know how old they are. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I can't see this being the answer, but oh my god, I have an answer. Nico Vento, I don't think it would be Logtown because that's still in the East Blue, because it says like we met them after the East Blue, so I think it has to be post Reverse Mountain. All right, guys, here's my guess. I'm gonna double. Actually, let me check his height, because if the height's right, if I'm gonna be, I hope I'm right, guys. So Sarkis, he's a male human. He's 27. He's between those heights. He's from the North Blue. He has a bounty between those. He doesn't have hockey. At least I would doubt. I can't imagine he does. Doesn't have a devil fruit. He is in a faction. He's in the Bellamy Pirates, so that would count. He's the first mate, so I don't think he would just be explorer. And we did meet him in between, so I think it's about to be Sarkis. Oh, let's go, bro. Let's go. I'm pumped. I just started thinking of low-ranking pirates who didn't have devil fruits that we met in the Grand Line, and he was the first one to come to mind because I get him every single time I do the Pirate King run game. Like, Sarkis might be the #1 person that I get rolled on the wheel. Let's go. Only 3 guesses for Sarkis. I don't like that I sometimes look up their info to double check, but I feel good about that one because I thought of him and then I just double checked and everything was right that I thought. Because I was thinking, like, I'm pretty sure he's young. I know he has a bounty, you know, and it all fit. The age was perfect because he's 27, 228 centimeters tall. That's crazy. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. Well, guys, thank you as always for being here. I'm glad you guys stuck around, or whoever did stick around to the end. Thank you. I appreciate you. Also, earlier I think there was Alejandro Solis. Sorry, I thought to myself like 10 times, don't forget to mention that last member message that you got, and I kept forgetting. So Alejandro Solis, my guy, you of all people too. You've been around since day one. I can't believe I totally missed this. You had a member message 30 minutes ago, and you said Emu TCG cards are going to change the meta. And they did last time, because about a year ago when we had OP13, the Emu deck was really, really good. It's still like okay. A lot of people don't play it anymore, but I'm sure they'll redo the Emu leader, but with the Gods Knights eventually, right? And they definitely like beefing up the cards that are like big characters and moments in the, you know, like manga and stuff. Like they made Emu and the Gorosei really good because they want people to play it and care about it because they're also like the big bads of the story or whatever. Like Blackbeard right now is really good, or he's not really, well, the Blackbeard leader's good, but really it's the other Blackbeard cards that are really good. But yeah, emu cards are going to change the change everything whenever they release the full scope of them. But right now, we just got the Gorosei ones drawn by Gege, which is very cool. A lot of the One Piece cards are actually drawn by other manga artists and stuff, so pretty cool. But yeah, guys, thank you again. Seriously, I appreciate you for being here, both for the chapter, for the post reactions, theory stuff. Thank you for being here. I seriously appreciate you. Plume Black Cat, you said Dak, an apology segment for Mihawk. Maybe when if you match me with an apology segment for Vista, then I'll do that part. If you can meet me in the middle. If you can't, then it's all good. It's all good. We'll just have to see who the real world's strongest swordsman when push comes to shove. We'll see. But yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you as always. There is no chapter next week though. So actually, first off, I'll definitely be doing at least one stream over the next 2 weeks. Probably like a week from now, I'll probably do like a discussion type of thing next week. I'll get somebody on to talk, Parvision or Sai or somebody. And as for videos, I'm not exactly sure when the next one will come, but I do want to still do my Pirate King run video. And now that they like kind of improved it a little bit, maybe I need to hurry up. But got that one coming. There is a TCG focused video I want to do. It's about just how crazy it's gotten over the last couple years and stuff. And I think it'll be good. It'll be a shorter video. And then I also want to get back to finishing my real life Pirates video. I think I mentioned this like a long time ago. And I got started, we got started. Dilcor's done most of the editing. And then I kind of went away from it. But I wanted to do a video where I go through like all of the inspirations from real life pirates that inspired the One Piece character equivalents. Like Eustace Kid is based off of William Kidd. Now I can't remember because it's been so long, but he's based off the unluckiest pirate in history, right? It's like a real thing. And then Roger's based off of Olivier Levasseur, who literally when he died, he basically told everyone, like, I have a treasure out there, and if you want to find it, you got to crack this code. Like, it's very Roger coded, right? And so I wanted to do a video covering all them, and I think I'm going to hurry that one up during this break week. Because with all the Shueisha strikes and stuff that I keep getting and other channels keep getting, it's sort of hard to cover, like, current manga stuff unless it's just, like, a stream like this, or I do a video where I'm just on camera the whole time, which, like, maybe eventually I'll do that. But I don't know. For right now, I'm just going to work on other stuff. Obviously, we'll be here to talk about chapters here or in other streams or maybe on Redacted. But I'm going to do some, like, other kind of content in the meantime until Shueisha stops sicking the dogs on us, So anyway, yeah. So be on the lookout over the next couple weeks. There'll be another stream and all that stuff. But otherwise, join the Discord to continue the discussion if you haven't joined already. Link should be in the description. We are almost back to 1,000 people. We've been floating around it up and down for a few months, but yeah, we're getting close again. So thank you all as always. I'm actually heading out this time, so